OG Boxing Talk. Hey, hit that. Actually, I can do this myself now. Yeah. All right. What's going on, Velts? I'm gonna put you guys on mute for a second. What's going on, Velts? Salute. Oh, what's going on, BJ313, Miss Boxing's Kansas City Mac, Cypher Supreme TV. What is good? What's going on this morning? We got OG Boxing Talk back again this week. Let's just introduce everybody in the panel. Then we will get into the subject matter of the video today. We got a lot of really good things to talk about. KQKC, let them know who you are and how to get in contact with you. Same thing for Curtis and Blood. Then we'll get right into the conversation.
Reach me Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I come on right after my brother for International Boxing. And of course, right here on OG Boxing at 8 a.m. Central Time.
Yes, indeed. My name is Curtis Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar. You can catch me on Blue Blood Live TV from Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We didn't do a show this week because the host of the show, Blue Blood, was in Deontay Wilder's training camp. But Monday, we will be on. And obviously, you can catch me on OG Boxing Talk for non-boxing. That's Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
OG Boxing Talk for non-boxing.
All right, man. What's going on, guys, man? I hear a little bit of echoing, but I'm not sure what that is. I know it's not me. But first of all, I would like to say that it's a pleasure to be present with the OGs on another Sunday. I have my big brothers again taking my back on this internet boxing talk. I'm here to take y'all's brothers back as well. KQKC, Kurt Sugar, and Phenom the Don. It's been a great week in boxing, man. Another unified champion has been born in this great sport of ours. Smash that damn like button. Y'all be selling the OG short, man. I'm waking up to hang out with y'all, man. Smash that motherfucking like, man. Let's be easy on the wrenches today because we may need to make an example out of some of these newbies, okay? Salute to all that's up in here. Y'all are the smartest boxing fans on the internet. You know why? Because y'all are fucking with the OGs on Sunday morning. That's why, okay? So big ups to everybody, man. Thank you. Thank y'all. Phenom, you're on mute, brother.
Can you hear me now? My bad. All right, so look, before we get into this conversation, we got to let everybody know that the Blood Boxing has released another portion of his Pernell Whitaker documentary last night. I was watching it. I've got about a quarter of the way through. Excellent work. He put a lot of time into it, a lot of effort into it, and it is, man, and he's going to do it in a very, very detailed fashion. So definitely check out my man Blood Boxing's newest documentary up on his channel. Tell him about where that channel is. Bud.
Yeah, man, it's over at Retro Boxing and Documentaries, man. If y'all haven't subscribed to it yet, go over there and subscribe. I got the latest edition of Pernell Whitaker documentary, episode 3. I'd like to thank all the people to sending donations too, man. My goodness, I didn't expect to get all that, but I'm gonna do something special for y'all, okay? I appreciate it. And just y'all just go over there, check it out. At least go over there and smash the like button. Help a brother out. Help a brother's video get spread out there, man. But I appreciate anybody who went over there. Peace. Big up to y'all, man. Real talk.
All right, man. And again, salute to our other co-host who got to get his job schedule changed. Drew Titan. I don't see him in here today, man, but just that, part of the OG boxing crew is Drew Titan. He's just got a work schedule. He's got a conflict with work that prevents him from co-hosting for the moment, but he'll be back soon. So let's say what's up to the people in the chat as it grows. Velts, what's good, man? BJ313, Miss Boxing, Kansas City. Mac, what's going on, Kansas City? And then 816. Are you 816 and 913, Kansas City, Mac? Cyber Supreme TV, Stefano Martinez, what's going on? Junior, the truth, the only man ever to catch me in a factual error. IOB, what's good, man? Dale Perry Gale, salute to you. Eugene Williams, salute to you. Where we going? Okay, yes, sir. Patrick Scott, Gil Coles, Jay West. Why not? Bush God, Jay West. Not Raja Veltz. All y'all, what's good, man? My man said he's playing hooky from church. Man, I knew you got them hats from somewhere, man. Ain't nobody that ain't a church goer wear them hats you got on that you be wearing. Junior the Truth. All right, so what's good, everybody? The first topic of this morning, man. Let's go over this light heavyweight unification fight. What's good in that super chat, my man? Big Dog Willie in the building. Much love. He said it was hood. Salute to the OG, yes sir. To the OGs. All right, so yeah, Junior the Truth. That's what's up. All right, so let's get to this, man. Arthur Beterbiev or Beterbiev. Arthur Beterbiev versus Gvozdyk. I got my prediction wrong for that fight. I thought Gvozdyk was going to win the fight, but Beterbiev put that whooping on him. Let's start with my man Curtis Anderson. Curtis Anderson, what were your thoughts on that fight that took place?
I was not surprised at all. My prediction was Artur Beterbiev in 8 rounds. He knocked him out in 10. The fight went exactly as I thought it would go. The judges had Gvozdyk up. I didn't see it like that. I thought Beterbiev had what you call effective pressure. He broke him down with body shots. It was funny. He hit him with a one body shot, and Gvozdyk stopped and started complaining about his glove. Man, I cracked up. That body shot took everything out of him. Beterbiev is a very strong. I mean, he's George Foreman strong, man. You know, you look at his physique. He's built like a tank, you know, and he was slower than I thought, you know, but his timing, you know, the overhand right on top of the head hurt Gvozdyk. The body shots hurt Gvozdyk, and he took him out round by round. He wore Gvozdyk down, you know, and got him out of there. You know, he's your quintessential slugger, and he opposes his will on you. And if you don't got nothing to keep him off you, he just gonna run right through you. It was a very entertaining fight. People was high on Gvozdyk, and Gvozdyk is not a bad fighter, but I don't think he was the boxer people thought he was. You know, remember something, he caught Stevenson at the right time, because I believe Stevenson had that battle with Jack, and he was beating Gvozdyk. He even hurt Gvozdyk, but people remember when Adonis got hurt. And then he had another fight after that where he didn't look so good, because, you know, I thought Gvozdyk was a decent fighter, but it didn't shock me. To beat Beterbiev, you have to move and box. Gvozdyk tried to do that, but he just wasn't good enough. So the power, the determination, and the sheer will wore Gvozdyk down, and he got stopped.
What are your thoughts on how he on the rest of the 175-pound division with Beterbiev? And specifically, what do you think about him and Bivol? What do you think about he and the winner of Kovalev and Canelo?
The light heavyweight is shaping up to be a Donnybrook, because now I want to see the boxing skills of Bivol versus Beterbiev. It would be the quintessential boxer versus slugger. I didn't like Bivol performances the last 2 fights. He seems to be missing something. It's not going to be easy. Bivol needs to sharpen up on his footwork, because it will take footwork to beat him. People forget Beterbiev, because of his amateur background, he's no spring chicken. He's 34 years old, you know, so he has a step on the gas. He has 15 fights, 15-0 with 15 knockouts. So if I was his management team, I would give him the biggest fights as possible. I will go after Bivol, and then if Canelo wins impressively, I will call him out. Or if Kovalev wins impressively, I will call him out. So the point, you know, if I was him, my priority is to get all the belts at light heavyweight and get the biggest fights I can get. Or maybe he can fight Zerto Ramirez or somebody like that. So I'll be, you know, his brand is growing. You know, he has a lot of momentum now. You know, he's the toast of the town. So I will go after the name fighters and the belts.
All right, let's move this to KQKC. KQKC, what was your thoughts? What was your thoughts on? Oh, by the way, before I do that though, Omega Red and that super chat, man, much love, thank you, sir. He said, salute OGs, the Don, the singing OG, the Godfather, and the historian, man. We got a lot of nicknames on this panel, man. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you so much for your support, Omega Red. KQKC.
Yes, sir.
Let me know what you think about this, about that fight that took place between Wojciech and Beterbiev at 175.
Okay, well, I was like Kurt. I had Beterbiev winning. I don't know how the judges came up with that score, but I had him winning comfortably, actually. And Beterbiev is very heavy-handed. You know, he's a strong, very strong. He remind me of that guy, Banachek. He's just real strong, but he lacks a lot of fundamentals, you know, and he has to work on that. Now he got the strength and the punching power, but he had to work on other things in order for him to be a formidable opponent at light heavyweight, you know. So, but the strength is there, but I don't know. It's kind of like he's stiff, you know. That's what it is. It's kind of like he's stiff at what he's doing. I'm not saying he's a Joe Joyce, you know, in slow motion, but I'm saying that he's just, you know, he's punching and he know that he hit you at the body, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna feel it. Like go check felt it. And so, but I think it was a pretty good fight, and I think it went the way I kind of predicted, but the scores was a little bit off. I had him winning pretty much all rounds except for about 3, you know. So, but overall, that's about what I'm saying. That's about it, you know. But he's a good opponent. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Beterbiev and versus
Bivol?
And versus the winner of Canelo Alvarez versus Kovalev?
Well, Bivol, that's going to be tricky, right? Now, Bivol, he needs footwork too, and Kovalev needs footwork too, but I think Beterbiev will give Kovalev big trouble. Because see, you have to understand, Kovalev is not the same like he was when he fought Andre Ward. He's different, you know. I mean, of course, he's older, but we all know that the last to go is your power. But he doesn't have that power like Beterbiev has, you know. So therefore, Canelo, yeah, he's in the mix. He's in the mix. He's working on his footwork. His footwork gotten better, and his punching is getting better now, more accurate, I would say. But now, this will come tricky at. Now you got Canelo, I would say, with top Beterbiev. See, sometimes strength is not always, you know, work. You know, you can use your mind, your IQ, and whatever else works for you to win a fight. So I think Canelo got the IQ. I think he got the footwork now, and he got the punching power. But you can't stay on that bike for 12 rounds. So you're going to have to stop and fight. So that's where it's going to come tricky at when Beterbiev and, let's say, Canelo. Now, what will he could do then? Run back down or run back up? That's all I have.
All right. My man, Blood Boxing.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. President of the
thoughts on that fight, man? Let me know.
Yes, I did see the fight, man. I got like damn well. I'm trying to make my coffee here, man. I got like 5 things of half and half creamer in the fridge, man. I didn't even realize that. But anyways, let me get back on this shit here, man. Look, man.
Oh, hey, let me go for a second so you can have your coffee. Let me go first, and then once you get
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, once you get your shit together, then we can do it. So my thought is on this, man. Look, I was wrong, man, about Beterbiev, man. And when I did my prediction videos, I thought Wojciech was going to win the fight because I gotta admit, I was caught up in the Ukrainian hype. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. I got caught in the Ukrainian hype. But then I realized as soon as I saw Teddy Atlas ass walk out with him, I was like, oh, fuck no. He's with Teddy Atlas. I'm going to lose. God dang it. Damn it. I thought this motherfucker was with Antonelli Lomachenko. I didn't do my research on him, dog. I didn't do enough research on him. God, dog, man. When I saw Teddy walk out there, man, I was like, this dude about to get his ass whooped. This shit ain't gonna go. Then he came back. He came out in the orthodox stance. He won some rounds now. But there are some things that when Andre Ward was calling the fight, and later on we're gonna talk about Andre Ward, dog. We're gonna talk about Andre Ward in this motherfucking ESPN, dog. Man, these dudes be on some other level bullshit. But so I watched these dudes. I was like, all right. I thought the fight was close. Wojcik was sticking him with that straight right hand, that jab straight right hand. But Beterbiev was he was walking through it. He was slipping it. I got it, I'm a little bit off what my man KQKC said because Wojcik very fundamentally sound. He's just not an outboxer. That dude is more like he's a boxer, he's a slugger. He's a puncher slugger. And he's going in there, man. He's going in there to work. And he worked that boy. He beat that boy up. He looked like, man, I got no respect for you. I'm about to come in here. I'm about to knock your ass out. And I don't have any problem with that, man, because he kind of seemed to me like a little bit like the way that Regis Prograis approaches fights, where people are like, man, he looks like he's too easy to hit, but the way he's slipping punches coming in, keeping constant pressure on the guy, he kept constant pressure on Wojcik and never really gave Wojcik any room to breathe. So he had to fight every minute of every round. So when that stoppage came, man, I was like, well, I gotta back up off it, dog. I was wrong about Beterbiev, but I gotta say, man, I was happy to be wrong. Very, very, very happy to be wrong because I like Beterbiev. I just thought that, I didn't think he'd have the ability to slip as many punches on the inside and counter that dude as well. And his strength, I really underestimated that dude's strength. I underestimated him. So, hey, man, I was wrong on that one. That is my first one being wrong. And Junior the Truth. See, Junior the Truth is too big just to straight cuss his ass out because he's too big. I met him in person. Fucking cussing that dude out. But I will say this is the second time I had to eat a little crow. That's the first time I had to eat crow since what's that dude's name?
Since the
Ohio dude that nobody knows.
The last time you had to talk with me, that's the last time. You wrong all the time. This is something every week, bro.
That last crow I ate
every week, man.
Legitimate crow. The last crow I legitimately had to eat was that dude. Don't nobody care about him. Terrence Crawford's ducking him. His daddy's cool, but sometimes he put that black paint on his head. That dude, Sean Porter, when he beat Danny Garcia, and I went to Smoke City Mobcast, and Junior the Truth made me play something. Who'd you pick again? But anyway, I gotta eat a little crow on that. As far as what him and Beterbiev, Bivol, I'm not betting against Beterbiev again. And I think Canelo will never fight. If Canelo gets past Kovalev, Canelo will not fight that dude. Canelo will move his ass back down to 160 pounds. That's what I think. Blood, it's on you.
And Fernand, grow so much, man. You about to grow damn well feathers, man. You eat crow every damn week, man.
Man, I ain't no crow, man.
This ain't brand new now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just reminding you, that's all. But like I said earlier, it's always a great week in boxing when we could get some unified boxing champions in this era of multiple belts within each sanctioning body at that, too. One thing I noticed is that this fight was signed and I did not see any A-side, B-side politics discussed. This fight didn't reek of extreme fans, which made the fight that much better. You had Beterbiev, which is what they're calling him here, over in England, they call him, in Europe, they call him Beterbiev, but Beterbiev from out of Russia, and you had Gvozdyk from out of the Ukraine, okay? I don't follow the politics in these countries, but I heard there's been some heat exchanged for quite some time over there, okay? I didn't see any extreme fan surface from these regions, which tells me that maybe there are less groupie fans of fighters in these parts of the world. Both fighters were undefeated and placed that O on the line. I just hope that this internet-based boxing media can recognize these two fighters for their great work and get their heads out of these celebrity fighters' asses for even a second to recognize a pretty good unification fight took place here, okay? The two fighters met on neutral grounds. Well, I guess it was more of a Gvozdyk crowd right over there in Philly, but pretty much they weren't in their own country, okay? Both fighters are of Olympic pedigree, all right? Gvozdyk, he came out with his usual probing of the jab, circling and trying to establish some distance. You had Beterbiev taking his time. He was slowly attempting to cut off the ring in the beginning, standing his ground, attempting to like establish a jab of his own. Gvozdyk tends to throw these pity-pat punches while establishing his distance, okay? I noticed that Beterbiev was utilizing that high guard effectively like he always does. And you know what, man? He was blocking a lot of Gvozdyk's work off that jab and footwork, especially in the beginning. He was blocking a lot of the work in the beginning, okay? Beterbiev does tend to lunge with the jab, which keeps himself open for counters. I took note of that. But when he would give Gvozdyk them looks, when he would lunge with that jab and stuff, Gvozdyk wasn't taking advantage of them openings, man. Beterbiev would go right back to that high guard, and he did a good job. He continued to apply pressure and block the punches, okay? Gvozdyk's foot speed and ability to utilize counters and angles is a bit overrated, in my opinion. He tends to get caught when shifting out of the pocket. Gvozdyk will get caught when he's coming out of the pocket. He don't pull out of the pocket very fast, if you notice that. Beterbiev received credit for a knockdown at the end of the first round, but it was overruled and changed to a push after an instant replay review, which I'm glad that anytime they could utilize instant replay in boxing like they do in all other sports, I'm happy about that too, okay? At times, Gvozdyk kept Beterbiev at bay with combination punches in the middle, especially in the middle rounds, okay? Even though Gvozdyk was getting through with some good shots and split Beterbiev's guard a few times. Y'all saw, man, don't make it like Beterbiev just steamrolled him now. He split the guard a few times. Beterbiev kept applying the pressure, though. When they wrapped up, Beterbiev was a stronger man, okay? At times, Gvozdyk would stand his ground, and that worked to the stronger Beterbiev's advantage, okay? Gvozdyk was landing some big punches, and he landed some really good punches at the end of round 6, okay? At the end of round 6, he snapped Beterbiev's head back, man. He was splitting the guard. He was doing some good work, man. By the ninth round, though, Beterbiev was still applying that serious pressure. Gvozdyk was wearing down at a rapid pace. Beterbiev was going to the head and body and catching Gvozdyk with some good shots. Gvozdyk was tired. He was trying to hold, but Beterbiev, he's strong as an ox, man. 3 knockdowns, and that's all she wrote. Now I want unification. Light heavyweight is a good weight class to unify at, too. It's a traditional weight class, and there's a good distance between light heavyweight and cruiser, which means that we are less likely to see a unified champion move out of the light heavyweight division. A title holder at 175 pounds will not be as quick to jump ship when the guys in the next weight class weigh as much as 200 pounds. And when you rehydrate and all of that, these guys will weigh 210, 215 fight night, okay? So if we could get an undisputed at 175, I think we'll keep them for a while. So boxing fans need to put pressure on the powers that be to get this undisputed at 175. There's no reason why we can't have Beterbiev versus Bivol next. There's nothing to build. Let's have this fight next, man, okay? As for Canelo versus Kovalev, I expect the winner to fight Beterbiev or Bivol, okay? Unfortunately, I heard Bob Arum. This ain't even Oscar De La Hoya. I heard Bob Arum say that he does not expect Canelo to fight Beterbiev because Beterbiev is too big. Arum isn't even Canelo's promoter. Are they participating in a group effort to make Canelo bigger than life here? Because that confused the hell out of me when I heard that come out of Bob Arum's mouth. But then again, I saw him at the recent presser. Bob Arum is looking old, man. He's looking like he's about to fall apart, man. He needs to go sit down somewhere, man. You're getting too old, man. You're 90 years old. You can't even turn your damn neck around. When somebody calls him from behind, he got to turn his whole body around. He can't even turn his neck around, okay? Go sit down, man. Enjoy your money. You've stolen enough money from people over the years, man. I'm coming out here with this wild stuff, man. I'm ready to see some unification. You know, I don't know if they're going to protect Canelo or not, but if Canelo wants to be impressive, he should be able to take a fight like Beterbiev or Bivol anyway, because these guys is what's on his menu, Euro fighters, okay? So I want unification. I think unification in this division is very important because there's a 25-pound difference of 15 to 20. There's really a 20-pound difference with cruiserweight and light heavyweight, not like, you know, super lightweight and lightweight where there's 2 pounds and all that shit, okay? So that's what I got to say about it so far, man.
All right, man. I got to tell people, first of all, man, let me go to these super chats, man. I appreciate you so much, my man. I had them up on the screen, but let me read them out. Jay Cooley said, good morning to my good people. Hope everyone has a blessed day today. Thank you very much. I hope you have a blessed day as well. Thank you so much for the support. And TC the Crisis says, top of the morning, OGs. Yes, but I don't know if you guys noticed something out there in the chat and on the panel. I think it's very important to point out. See, you don't slip this shit past me, Blood. Blood has upped his game. Blood just gave a very detailed round by round breakdown of the fight, which tells me he got his girlfriend to watch the fight with him and take notes so he could know exactly what was going on when he broke the shit down on OG Boxing Talk. So, just so you know, everybody out here, you better be watching this because Blood is out here to come get you. Blood is looking at, see, now we know why it's Blood, because Blood out for blood, dog. All right, I see you, Blood.
Yeah, man. Hey, no, that came from the dome, bro. I mean, I didn't pick that up.
You use the same
dome, bro.
You ain't slipping shit by me. You use the same cadence that you use in the Pernell Whitaker documentary you just did.
I'm a man, baby. That's just how I do it. That's how I do it, bro. When it comes to this boxing talk, and it comes
For now, you can't get mad at the brother because he got
I ain't mad
because he's a little bit smarter than you today, man.
No,
You can't get mad at that, man. All right, let that man flow. All right.
Go ahead, you can't see, then I shall retort and explain. My position is this: be on your shit, because Blood is coming for Blood. All right, Blood, I will be having detailed minute-by-minute breakdowns of the next fight that happens. Trust that. Good breakdown. But let's move on, man. Let's move on to the ESPN lies and propaganda. These motherfuckers are worse than HBO, man. Oh, my Lord, oh, my Lord, oh, my Lord. In the same live, first of all, these dudes showed Tyson Fury and said that Tyson Fury was on top of the heavyweight division. They then proceed to show a picture of Vasily Lomachenko's record and lists him as 14-0. This is the second time that they've done this, by the way, because I remember them doing that shit last year. I was like, hold on, man, did these motherfuckers just say that he's undefeated? Second time they've slipped into a caption that they're 14-0. So my question is, in this this subject matter is, and we're going to start this time with Blood, who I'm quite sure will give a very detailed and historical analysis of this comparison between HBO and ESPN. See, I got to change the questions to keep Blood honest. What's your comparison between ESPN and HBO? And did you notice that lie they told about Lomachenko's record? And what's your opinion about that general subject, Blood? The great Blood.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God, man! Listen, bro. I did not know that they lied. Okay, but it doesn't surprise me one damn bit, man. Okay, I mean, come on, man. ESPN, That's not a mistake, okay? This is the first I'm hearing of ESPN lying about Canelo's record. But once again, that's proof that guys like us are needed on boxing social media, okay? This was something that was done quite often in the 1980s and 1990s. I gave examples of this in documentaries. Kurt Anderson could tell you too. They used to beef these guys' records up, like the guys who, especially the guys from overseas. In the 1980s and 1990s, okay, we didn't have no internet tool, man, so we couldn't research it and find out. I could give you all direct examples of this. I just can't think of it off my head. I think they did it against one of Michael Doak's opponents. I featured it on the heavyweight series of a bunch of these guys, man. They would build these guys' records up and basically give these guys fake records. We didn't have no way of doing it back then. But another thing we didn't have things like BoxRec, okay? Like in the 1990s, we had the internet, but we didn't. But you guys remember those search engines in the 1990s, okay? We didn't have BoxRec, we didn't have Wikipedia, so I'm not even sure why they're doing this, man. You know, telling lies just so they could profit. Their plan is to profit off the naive new age fight fans, especially the ones that don't know the difference between the sanctioning belts, the weight classes, and so on. I'm not the least bit surprised that they did this, but because that's how stupid they think that these fight fans are. They don't think that these guys have any intelligence whatsoever. They don't think that nobody's smart enough to go out there and just go on BoxRec and look, okay? Get it together, ESPN. If you guys want to represent boxing, at least get the records right, okay? I mean, you got promoters out there now that can't even say fighters' names right, like Oscar De La Hoya, okay? Now ESPN wants to get on here and start getting records wrong and all kind of stuff. That just shows you right there that either they made a mistake and they just don't fucking know because somebody lied to one of the people who was working in the studio and said, oh, yeah, that's a great Lomachenko. That's probably what happened. That's great. What's his record? He's 14-0, and they just put the shit up there. Or they're just trying to sell them to naive boxing fans. I think it's the latter. But that's what I got to say about that, okay?
KQKC, you have a song request that is up on the screen now.
Who is that?
Charles Miller says, can we get KQKC to sing the Super Chat song, please? And I will add an extra $5 if you tap dance with that motherfucker, please.
Hey, you ain't said nothing but a word. You know where I'm from. Shoot, I don't turn down nothing but my collar. All right.
Dance, do not tap dance.
Huh?
Don't tap dance for them, man. Don't tap dance for them.
Hold on.
The tap dance, send $50.
Hold on, man. Hold on. You do not disrespect the great Bojangles. Don't you disrespect Sammy Davis Jr., Bojangles, and all the great tap dancing niggas that came before them.
Hey,
Okay?
Charles Miller, I got you, man.
Hey, but that's
Charles Miller. And that's ooh, 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 Chad. There you go, Charles.
Hey, you got to put an extra $1 on that, nigga. He gave you a couple extra woo-woos. Okay? We need a couple extra bucks on that, dog. Hey, that's okay. Subscribe to my man, KQKC Boxing. Comes on every morning right after my live stream. He starts every day at 12:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we always send people from my live stream to his. Definitely a great show, man. And you super chat that brother, he will definitely give you all that you want, all that you ask for, man. Now, let's move to KQKC. Okay. Oh, actually, look, that's out of order. Curtis Anderson, thoughts on ESPN changing people's records? Thoughts on Lomachenko being undefeated? What do you think could cause that? And there's another thing that they said. These ESPN records. Man, now you're the historian, right? So we all engage in historian, but I want you to make a specific point something out. I'm sure you'll catch on this one. They said that Wojciech and Beterbiev was the first time that undefeated light heavyweight champions fought for a unification fight. Now, I would like to point out a couple things, and I want you to comment on them. First, undefeated when two guys have 28 fights between them. One, I think, might have 15 fights. The other guys have 13 fights. And the fact that at 175 pounds, there was only 2 belts up until right around 1980. What are your thoughts on them trying to give these kind of half-ass historical accomplishments to people, an ESPN record, manufacturing people's records, and discrediting the sanctioning bodies by saying that top rank that Tyson Fury's at the top of the heavyweight division?
It's just ESPN propaganda, man. I've been watching them for years, ever since the emergence of the Eastern European fighters. Certain commentators are backing them or trying to overrate them on purpose, try to give them credit as much as possible. It seems like it was on HBO and it has slid over into ESPN. I caught that phenomenon when I saw the record of Lomachenko sitting in the audience and it said 14-0. I said, holy smokes, they are really trying to erase the Orlando Salido fight like it never happened and it didn't happen. The light heavyweight between fight, which was a good one, Beterbiev and Gvozdyk, and they trying to say the undefeated light heavyweights. First of all, the light heavyweights in the 80s are era that we don't talk about with Matthew Saad Muhammad and Yaki Lopez and Victor Galindez and Mike Rossman, Dwight Muhammad Qawi, and one of the most underrated light heavyweight champions. He was dominant, Michael Spinks, who had a record of 31-1 with 21 knockouts. People know him from the knockout, the Tyson, but he was a dominant light heavyweight. And Spinks and Qawi fought for undisputed light heavyweight championship. Highly anticipated fight. That's why, people, we must not forget our history when it comes to boxing. If you notice, every time I speak upon a subject, I try to, bring up a historical fighter or historical fight and segue that into a fight that happens today or anticipation of a fight. Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to whitewash a lot of things and overestimate and overrate these fighters. They would tell you Beterbiev is the Mike Tyson of the heavyweight light heavyweight division, where you have punches like Bob Foster and like the aforementioned Michael Spinks, and people forget Michael Moore was a devastating puncher before he became a heavyweight. And this goes on to Chocolatito, and like I said, you saw it on HBO. Now you're seeing at ESPN and Tim Bradley, doing his coon, tap dancing, and nobody knows the troubles, that type of thing Tim Bradley got going on, and they can't lose people like us who know the sport of boxing. Tyson Fury being in the top of the heavyweight, which is a joke. He's a wrestler now. He's getting $15 million for something that's not real, and he has the complexion for the protection. And they're going to try to, minimize and marginalize Deontay Wilder. If Deontay Wilder go ahead and knocks out Ortiz, they're going to say Ortiz is old. I want to see Fury fight Wilder, and I want to see Wilder get rid of this dude once and for all, man. I'm just sick of it. When I look at ESPN, I don't even have my volume up anymore. I mute my volume because I can't take it. I just can't take, and I like Beterbiev, and I like Lomachenko, but the media, HBO, makes me not like them to the point where I want to listen to BS commentary, man. Who Mark Kriegel or Tessitore? I don't know these guys, man, but they just get on my nerves, and it's obvious what they're trying to do. They're trying to, every time there's a fight come along, they try to compare him to an all-time great. And before I finish up, one thing that surprised me on Max on Boxing, he's backtracking when it comes to Golovkin. He says people used to give him a criticism on him overrating Golovkin, and now he's saying in so many words that Golovkin's career was overrated. So that kind of threw me for a loop, which he finally admitted about Golovkin. But the Lomachenko record, when I saw that 14-0, I like to fell out my chair, man, because it's obvious what they're trying to do.
Hey, I can explain that for you if you'd like, Curtis, about why he backtracking on Golovkin. Because Golovkin fights for the Zone and not ESPN. That's straightforward. The reason he backtracked on that is because Golovkin didn't sign with ESPN. Any moron that can say that a guy like Tyson Fury, who's not beaten a credible heavyweight in the last 4 years, is the number one heavyweight in the world, will say anything. Anybody that will say that Manny Pacquiao was the greatest fighter of his generation when he got put flat on his fucking face by Juan Manuel Marquez, my opinion, he lost to Juan Manuel Marquez 3 times and got a draw and 3 L's against Juan Manuel Marquez and got beat by Floyd Mayweather Jr. Anybody that could say that and he said this, no one can make an argument to me that says that Manny Pacquiao is not the greatest fighter of his generation. The dude lost to 2 people, got knocked out by one guy and lost to the other guy. How can that be? These guys are completely on the message being kicked out by their producers and their writers on ESPN. It is extremely calculated. And I've been a huge critic of and I think it's fair to say everybody should be a critic of the sanctioning bodies, right? We have conversations all the time. Should there be one sanctioning body, 2 sanctioning bodies, 3 sanctioning bodies, 4 sanctioning bodies? Too many sanctioning bodies. It's too many belts. It's too many weight classes, too many belts, too many sanctioning bodies, right? That is one system that we're in right now that I think is very, very flawed. But if you listen very carefully to what ESPN is trying to push, they're trying to push a worse system, a system where a magazine tells you who the champion is in Ring Magazine, a system where a group of journalists that they select tells you who the best champion is. And if you look at the montage that they do with the sanctioning belts, they've done for at least 2 straight telecasts, they've done a little section pretty much just hitting up the sanctioning bodies. Similar to what Zufta Boxing, what's the guy's name? Dana White is saying that I've heard a report. I can't say that I've heard him say that he's going to ignore the sanctioning bodies. Well, in my opinion, if you're going to switch from one system to another system, the second system has to be better than the first system. And the reason we have the Muhammad Ali Act is because one of the main reasons, the main things that came out of the Muhammad Ali Act was that the sanctioning bodies, it mandated that these guys have systems, mandatory challengers, so that they knew that they could not, to prevent boxing commissions and promoters from fixing rankings and only giving rankings to the fighters that they want to be ranked, and set up championships that they want to be made between fighters that they like, right? To prevent things happening to fighters now, like what happened to Archie Moore, where Archie Moore, how old Curtis Anderson was Archie Moore before Archie Moore got a championship shot?
36, 37.
Yeah, 36, 37 years old. He's one of the best because he started at light heavyweight, didn't he?
No, he started middleweight.
But I thought most of his career was at light heavyweight.
That's correct, yes.
Right. So, say he's one of the best middleweights. He's one of the best light heavyweights, and he never got a shot. But if you were allowing the system that these guys at ESPN are trying to push, he won't get one either. It just be the same thing again, because right now they're promoting people as champions who don't have any belts, who have not beaten any existing fighters in order to be saying that they're the best fighter. They're just, well, there's some historical connection between him and somebody else. Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Anyway, yeah, I just went on that one a little bit, man. I think that the question gets passed to KQKC, man. What are your thoughts on ESPN talking about Lomachenko's record and all the stuff that we just talked about?
Well, ESPN, I would say that come from the higher ups, but no, I'm not going to say that. I would say that, and it would go to the commentary, the hosts, whatever you want to call them, because they're full of shit too. And what they're trying to do is make Lomachenko one of the pound for pound, put him up there, excuse me, put him up there with Muhammad Ali or past Earl Spence and all that other stuff. And like he's scared or not scared of nobody, like he's the best thing since sliced bread, which he's not, because he has been proven wrong a couple times. Now you can't erase Salito, no matter how much you try. You cannot erase a L off your record. You can retire and come back and still would be there. So no matter what, ESPN is turning into HBO. And for one, Tim Bradley, just like Jim Lampley. I mean, just identical twins in the brain, and another thing, ESPN knows that they failing against Fox, and they know that they don't promote Terrence Crawford and nobody else like they do Tyson Fury and Lomachenko. Now look at Tyson Fury. He did a little segment for a few minutes, and they said, "Oh yeah, we got right here the lineal heavyweight champion of the world." What lineal heavyweight champion of the world? That's why I couldn't stop laughing when they had a championship for the lineal heavyweight. Okay, what the winner get? A shake? A handshake? They don't get nothing because you can't have a belt. But you know what? I don't put nothing past the governing bodies. What they're going to end up doing is making a belt for a lineal heavyweight champion. Watch. Just watch. Because they do shit like that. See, that's what they are. They try to put people on pedestal. We know how HBO used to do Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and Chocolito. And Chocolito got knocked out, right? Yeah, he did. But see, they decided to go that way, but end up going that way. Same with ESPN. They're about to go the same route. But see, the difference is ESPN don't know what they're doing because they mixed up in all the other sports. See, HBO was focused on boxing. That's it. But now they trying to put Tyson Fury up there when we all know he's an addict. We all know he's a drunk. We all know that he's using his mentality as like he was born with it, or like he went through the Marines 5 or 6 times over there in Iraq or some shit. No, the drugs made him crazy. That's what made him crazy. That's all. The drugs. So quit giving speeches. He is not that guy. You know what's going to happen? He's not going to fight Wilder. I can see it coming now. Because more money is into the fake wrestling. That's why. So I'm not going to get too long on it, but that's what it's going to be. They're not gonna highlight Deontay Wilder. They're trying to box him in as it is. Because first of all, they said that they're gonna drop one belt and let Usyk. I'm not gonna get into that because that's not the subject. But still, we know what Top Rank is trying to do. And Pamper Bob, like I call him, Pamper Bob. That's right, because like Blood say, he's 92 years old and he can't hold his bowels. So that's why I call him Pamper Bob. So anyway, So he don't know if he coming or going. He see now, he forget all about Terrence Crawford. He don't even promote him because you know why? He spent all his money promoting that dumb, phony lineal heavyweight champion. That's why. That's all I got right now.
Couple things real quick. Boogie Woogie says, so what? He lost one fight. One L doesn't mean diddly squad. Yeah, it does. It means you lost. That's what shit it means. It means you lost. And anybody that tells you that the guy didn't lose and he did lose, it means a lot. It means they're lying. Either they're in one of two things, Boogie Woogie. Either they're incompetent or they're lying. One or the other. Incompetent or lying. Neither one of those are good. So I would suggest, man, if I jumped out here and I said that, because boxing does other, they telling another lie too. They tell us lie that Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury. No matter how many times people come and say that, that shit's not true. But what you're doing is you're stealing a status from somebody. Matter of fact, when these people are doing that to Orlando Salido, if Vasily Lomachenko is the fighter that everybody thinks that he is, then why aren't they when you steal a win from Orlando Salido, you're diminishing the career of Orlando Salido. And that's what, and I'll say that to my man Black Fight Fan TV, man. Stop hating on Salido. That's for Trill. Stop hating on Salido. Get that man his credit. Boxing is supposed to be meritorious. It's supposed to come. What you think of a fighter is supposed to be the result of what they actually do in the ring, not what you think about what they did in the ring. Orlando Salido beat that guy, and I've heard more excuses for why that dude lost that fight. Now they go beyond making excuses for why he lost the fight to just acting like the fight never happened, like he didn't. And let's tell you the truth about this too. They also took 6 fights off of Lomachenko's record. 6 professional fights are missing from his record. What? Yes, his record is not 14-0. His record is 20-1. That's his record because he had 6 fights in the World Series of Boxing that Fight Facts, who was responsible for keeping the official records of boxing, count as professional fights. There are many fighters that come in and they have professional fights. And here's the definition of a professional fight. You fight with no headgear, no shirt, and you get paid for the fight. That is a professional fight. Vasily Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, Joe Joyce, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and many other fighters, before they actually start fighting professionally for fights sanctioned by the WBC, the WBO, the WBA, the IBF, the NBF, whatever, they fight in this thing called the World Series of Boxing, WSB. That's how we know that Alexander Usyk already beat Joe Joyce. Go Google that. They get paid for that fight. And the thing is, this is what they do. What they do is they say, okay, and this is why people, the very spurious idea that those aren't professional fights is this, that the Olympics will allow them to still fight in the Olympics. That's their justification, because people that fight in the World Series of Boxing do not lose their Olympic eligibility. But that doesn't mean it's not a professional fight. That just means that the Olympic Boxing Committee says it's okay for them to fight, similar to basketball. You know, the NBA has professional basketball players playing in the Olympics. You can't tell me that LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony, who played in the Olympics together, weren't professionals. They were getting millions and millions of dollars from the NBA, and they played in the Olympics. It's already shaky enough to call those guys amateurs when they were fighting in the amateurs beside the World Boxing Series, because they're paid to fight. They're paid to fight. They get stipends to fight. When their national team, or Vasily Lomachenko has been a professional fighter for at least the age of 12. But actual professional fights under professional rules, his record is 20-1. And they act like he just walked from nowhere and and jumped into a first title fight. That's not true. He had 6 fights in the World Boxing Series fighting for Team Ukraine, and then got a title shot in his second fight. And actually, he fought for some in between in his first fight. But it's a bunch of make-believe shit. Even when you hear the people talking about how fast he did something, it's an optical illusion. Or Usyk, or Wojciech, or any of those guys, because they're 33 years old. It's 31, 32, 33. I saw this comment that Dan Raphael laughed at this guy, right, on Twitter, because he said something, and he said something. Yeah, I said Joe Joyce did as well. Yeah, Joe Joyce fought Usyk in the World Series of Boxing. But something that Dan Raphael made a joke about, really tried to clown some dude on Twitter, because this guy said, look, Devin Haney at age 17 would have beaten Orlando Salido. And then I think he said something else about Lomachenko. But then Dan Raphael was like, laugh. I will. I'll definitely see. Look at my question in the chat, bro. I will. You got to, write it down at the bottom again, and I'll make sure that I get that. But here's the thing. They laughed at the fact that Devin Haney would have beaten Orlando Salido in his first fight at 17 years old, but missed the big thing. Yes, Devin Haney might have lost to Orlando Salido at age 17 in his first fight. I don't believe that he would have beaten a caliber fighter like that. But would he beat him at 25? Because Devin Haney's only 20. Devin's 20. Vasily Lomachenko was 25 when he lost to Orlando Salido. So how can you're telling this story about how fast he got here, but you're forgetting the whole picture, that American amateurs are not in the same scenario as Usyk or Wojciech, Beterbiev or Lomachenko. These guys actually have to fight when they turn pro. That's because you have first of all, I've talked to Errol Spence Jr.'s father. I've talked to Money Powell's father. This story is told over and over and over again. These amateurs have to pay their own bills to fight. They have to pay their own bills. The U.S. government is not paying their trainers. The U.S. government is not their day-to-day trainers. Once they make the Olympic team, they have some trainers paid to work out with them once they make the Olympic team. But until they make the Olympic team, these guys' trainers aren't getting paid. This ain't like Cuba, where they have socialized schools where you go in and you get trained to box and to play chess and play football from the time you're 2-3 years old. It's apples and oranges. So if you really want to do a fair comparison, look at how, in my opinion, where was Lomachenko when Lomachenko was 20 years old? He was fighting guys in headgear. He was fighting guys in headgear in 3-round fights at 20 years old. Devin Haney at 20 years old is a mandatory challenger for the welterweight title of the world. That's a fair, because they both started fighting at the same age. Lomachenko didn't start fighting when he was 19, 20 years old. These false comparisons and this obsession with making these people look like they're doing something that is with apples and orange comparisons, manufacturing weakest fucking lineal championship arguments you can possibly make. Man, this shit is frustrating, man. And I think it really does do a disservice to what some of these extremely good and extremely talented fighters are doing. Muhammad Ali said, I shook up the world. I'm just 22 years old. 22. He didn't say I shook up the world. I'm 31. You know what I mean? No, these guys are doing it from the time they're children, and they get thrown out there, thrown to the wolves. The fact of the matter is that Devin Haney at 17 years old was fighting professionals in Mexico. Go look at his record. This guy's fighting hard, may not be the best fighters in the world, but you go down to Mexico, these guys they're not even checking hand wraps in Mexico. You don't know what this dude was dealing with in Mexico. Anyway, man, I went off on a little bit on that one, man. But it's just, Come on, man. Pay credit to make actually true comparisons, fair comparisons between fighters. Otherwise, man, you're going to see a guy that will never, ever get to 20 fights. Because believe you me, Vasily Lomachenko is not going to make it to 20 fights. He won't make it. Wojcik might make it to 20 fights. I don't know if Beterbiev is going to make it to 20 fights. Alexander Usyk will never make it to 30 fights. But you got fighters that have 40, 35, 40 professional fights. And you know, in the professional, just the simple fact that you've been in so many professional fights allows you to get cuts, right? You might get cuts. You might get, you have a bad training camp. Something like that can happen because you're fighting professional fighters. More than half of these guys for things, they were professionals fighting amateurs. So it's just such an unfair comparison, man, for these guys that they're trying to make. But let's what's your thoughts on that, Curtis? You there?
Yeah, you said it very well. Those fights should have counted, because I knew about Lomachenko. I knew about all these Eastern European fighters when they was over there. He should have been 21 for non. That's a very good point, that you made. So they're doing a disservice to Lomachenko when they got him at 14-0, still the wrong record. And I want to say this about them Eastern European fighters, man. People talk about their amateur pedigree, and rightfully so, but you got to understand amateur boxing. When you have experience as an amateur, you're fighting young kids. And I'm not taking away from the Cuban team, the Cuban fighters like Teofilo Stevenson and Andres Aldama, but it takes a special young fighter like the American fighters, like the 76 and 84 Olympic team, to beat those fighters. But when you're an amateur, you're going to be successful. Because for now, they go off the amateur record. I believe he was 396-1. So they try to tie that up into, he became a champion after his second professional fight. But you got to understand once again, he had fights. He's already matured because of all the amateur fights in the World Boxing Series. That should have been counted because that's a professional fight. No headgear. That's a professional fight.
And you got paid.
Exactly. So they trying to spin it the way they want to and control the narrative. But when you understand boxing and what they trying to do with the influx of Eastern European fighters, and I'm a fan of them. I'm not in no way, shape, or form bombing them, but I understand what the media is trying to do, give them more credit than what they deserve. They're not going to have long careers like American fighters or Mexican fighters. If they're lucky, they have 20 fights, 20 victories. Usyk and Gvozdyk and Beterbiev. That's why when they come in their professional ranks, they're already in their 30s. So, I see where this was going years ago. So this doesn't surprise me.
I am ill will. See, I think I already answered your question. He said, is there any other fighter that had nothing but championship fights on their official record ever? There isn't one that has that. Fight Facts is the official record, not BoxRec. And on Fight Facts, they list the fights that Vasily Lomachenko had as World Boxing Super Series and the World Series of Boxing. They list those as professional fights. That's his official record. His official record is 20-1. See, a lot people think that BoxRec is the official records. It's not. One of the very first things and they don't say that they are. They say that there's errors there on BoxRec. Matter of fact, blood boxing, one of the first things that I was familiar with from the great blood boxing was blood boxing catching people's mistakes on BoxRec. Am I right? Am I lying, Blood?
No, you're not lying, man. They make a lot of mistakes on BoxRec all the time. They use the wrong fighters' pictures, even legendary fighters, man. I'm doing some research right now on Salvador Sanchez as I'm preparing for my documentary on him. And I found a fighter that he fought on BoxRec. I can't remember which one, but I'll point it out when I get to the video. BoxRec got the wrong pictures up. It's just all kind of shit. They got all kind of mistakes on BoxRec. And to answer I Am Ill Will's question, boxing is structured different now in this social media era. There's way more belts now. You could, once again, there's a social media tool in place that we didn't have before. Okay, so they're using that social media tool to try to promote these fighters and make them larger than life. The truth about these Eastern European fighters is that if they would have been able to box professionally in the 1970s, we might have seen something a little bit different because of the Cold War was in place back then. I'm sure you guys remember that era where we thought that some guy could just press a button and the whole world would blow up, the nuclear missiles and all kind of stuff like that. So I'm wondering, I always wondered what it would have looked like during the Cold War era if they would have tried to present those Eastern European fighters back then. Another thing, too, is that these guys are no longer in their prime. Lomachenko, Usyk, all these fighters are way past their prime. If you look at these guys fight, they get beat up in there, some of them. Usyk, he hasn't taken a really good beating yet, but Lomachenko, to me, looks like a battered and bruised old fighter, man. They're trying to protect him from Devin Haney, which I know we're going to get into that subject matter. But, the reason why we're going to see something like that today is because there's way more belts. There's a social media tool. There's more naive people than there's ever been. Even with the internet in place, nobody does research. Nobody wants to read. That's why they're doing what they're doing, man. It's just that simple. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some other big amateur star come out and fight in nothing but championship fights. I think the closest thing to Lomachenko would probably be Clarissa Shields over in the female with the women's boxing, but that's about now. We've never had nothing like that in the past. No, absolutely not.
Nah. But officially, that's not. Anyway, man. All right, let's move on a little bit, man, because that's a perfect bridge into our next discussion, which is Devin Haney and Lomachenko. On Trill Boxing Talk this weekend, there was, if you guys aren't familiar with Trill Boxing Talk, most people in this chat already know Trill Boxing Talk, but it's on Black Fight Fan TV's channel. With the channel is Trill Boxing Talk, and he interviewed Devin Haney's father. Is it Bill Haney? The name?
Bill Haney.
Yeah, Bill Haney.
Yeah.
And Bill Haney sounded very much like the reason that actually, I think he said this, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said the reason that he signed with DAZN and Eddie Hearn was to get the Lomachenko fight, thinking that was going to put them in a better position to get the Lomachenko fight. He's now the mandatory for Lomachenko, and Bob Arum, the last I heard, said that he didn't want that fight. And there's protectors out there, very intelligent with great boxing channels out there protecting Lomachenko from Devin Haney. Man, what are your thoughts? Let's start with KQKC. What's your thoughts on the Devin Haney Lomachenko fight?
Well, me personally, my opinion is that Lomachenko is pretty much trying to avoid Devin Haney. Now, why I say that is because of this. Devin Haney, young, agile, can move, can get in, can get out. And Lomachenko, if you look at his fights, maybe the last three, he won, but it looked like he lost. Because, see, the older you get, more fights you have, the wear and tear on your body takes a toll. And Devin Haney is fresh. He is fresh. Now, he might have to sit down on his punches a little bit more to hurt Lomachenko. But as far as a 12-round fight, he might just come out on top, just straight 12 rounds. But Lomachenko and Bob Arum is trying to keep him away from Devin Haney. See, they don't want the golden child spoiled. They don't want the golden child upset. They don't want the golden child or their money messed up. So they trying to avoid pretty much a 50-50 chance that he might get his ass whooped. So therefore, they're going to try to cherry pick someone else and try to avoid him and ignore him. That's all it is. You know, it's that old Floyd Mayweather shit. You know, let me pick out my opponent. Let me pick out somebody that I think I can beat, like flat-footed Mexican fighters. He was good at that when he came Money Mayweather. You know, so I mean, so my opinion is this, you know, if you want to be the best, if you want to fight the best and say you're the best and you can prove that you're the best, you got to fight the best. And the only way you're going to do that is fight your mandatories. And I blame the governing bodies for that too. They should make them fight. This your mandatory. So you're going to fight them or we're going to strip you. That's how I feel.
Curtis?
It's very strange to me that, you know, Lomachenko was targeting Tank. He was very aggressive about wanting to fight Tank. But with Haney, it's just the opposite. You know, that kind of threw me for a loop when Haney was calling out Lomachenko and he was aggressively seeking Lomachenko. And very strange and weird that Lomachenko didn't second that emotion. He didn't say anything about Haney. You know, I found that to be very strange. That's the first thing I caught. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable fighting Haney. You know, not that he's afraid, but certain fighters are not just comfortable fighting other fighters. He maybe he sees something he didn't like. Maybe it's Haney's footwork. Maybe it's his energetic youth. Fighters are like that mentally. You know, a fighter's confidence is like your grandma's China collection. You know, evidently, you know, when you talk about Lomachenko, you know, and Haney, you know, Haney was calling him out one time. Then he called him out again. Then he called him out again. And I'm like, we're going to have a Lomachenko-Haney fight. But Lomachenko has been eerily quiet about wanting to fight Haney. And now you see Haney getting better and better. And see, if I was Lomachenko, I would jump on all these young up-and-coming fighters now. But see, the more Haney fight, the better he gets. And the more Lomachenko fights, you know, he's out of his prime, like Blood said. You know, he gets hit. So he's more aggressive, if you notice that, because he has to be. But see, and I don't know if Haney can beat him. It's a very, very good fight because Haney has the rhythmic and perpetual motion to beat him. But does he have the ring IQ and the experience? You know, that's a question mark. But the more he fights, you know, the more upside he's going to have when he steps in the ring with Lomachenko. It's just weird to me. And Lomachenko's a fighter, and I'm a fan of Lomachenko. I really am. I think a lot about him, but he's not comfortable with Haney as he is in Tank. And in more Tank fights, you know, he becomes more dangerous. But for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's me, but he hasn't called out Devin Haney once. Has he, chat? Has he called out Devin Haney for KQ or Blood? So
Not that I've heard of. Not that I've heard.
It mystifies me. I'm like, you know, because contrary to belief, fighters, when they think the anticipation of a fight is coming, they will sit home and study that fighter. They do. They could tell you they don't look at film. That's a lie. He sees something in Devin Haney that he don't like. His size, his athleticism, he's not comfortable with it.
Yeah, let me God dog, I missed. You gotta forgive me, man. I'm sorry, Big Dog Willie. Big Dog Willie had a super chat, said Fury wins WWE match. Will it add to his legacy? Absolutely. It adds, in my opinion, it adds greatly to his legacy as a fucking clown. That's what it does for me. It adds his legacy as a fucking clown. And I think after Blood gives his point on this Devin Haney Lomachenko thing, there was some gloves. I do believe I put it in the. I might not have put it in the agenda that I sent out to the people on the panel, which is proof that Blood Boxing prepares his answers ahead of time to look, more scholarly than he might otherwise. I did not put in the chat what happened yesterday about the news that came out about Tyson Fury fixing his gloves in sparring. So just to let you guys know what happened. There's this guy, if you guys know, there's this channel called A Million Styles Boxing with Barry Robinson. Barry Robinson is he trains heavyweight fighters. He used to do a series on YouTube, and he probably still has a YouTube channel where he breaks down these heavy fighting techniques for heavyweights. Really enjoyed Barry Robinson's work, but he's a trainer for boxing. So what he does is he sells his packages, the full videos, to fighters. So you got to become a member of that. But if I was actually a fighter, man, I would sign up for Million Style Boxings any day. But I remember seeing Barry Robinson in a picture with Tyson Fury before the Deontay Wilder fight. And I was like, wow, that's Barry Robinson that's behind Tyson Fury and working with his team. Well, yesterday it came out. The first that I heard of it was, I think maybe, Mahari Nation. Mahari Nation put out Mahari Nation Sportcast. Forgive me. Mahari Nation put out a somebody please put Mahari Nation's channel in the chat so people know how you can get Mahari Nation. He put out a connection to the Instagram post where he said what was happening. You could hear Barry Robinson doing this. Barry Robinson was looking at a pair of boxing gloves, and he said, look, I'm telling you, he's talking to a fighter, the name of which I don't know. He was like, look, man, if I was you, I would call your manager. I would say, before you get in the ring, you need to call your manager. This is something that they need to be made aware of. You basically telling them, dude, if I was you, I wouldn't get in the ring with him to spar, because the gloves there was two sets of gloves. One was the gloves that this boxer was given, and the other one that they saw were the gloves that Tyson Fury was sparring in. Tyson Fury's gloves, you could touch the top of the gloves, the foam at the top, and connect your fingers. Like push your fingers clear through the gloves and touch them. That's how thin the padding was. And then they showed the padding on the guy's glove that was fighting Tyson Fury, and you couldn't squeeze it more than this. So you could clearly see that those gloves, they would never have let anybody fight in gloves like that. Those are not sparring. Sparring gloves are supposed to be bigger. Those sparring gloves were pretty much top of the glove to your fist. So that's where, and then you see this guy say, man, who the fuck does Tyson Fury think I am? Right? What the fuck is this? Pretty much just going off about the shit. Tyson Fury is tampering with people's sparring glove. No, he tampers with his own sparring gloves. So to see that, and that's what my man Omar C says. Yeah, I saw the video. The gloves were definitely tampered with. Dude, what is this guy? This is a guy that tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Signed with a trainer who gave that nasal spray that got to Billy Joe Saunders, stripped of his belt, the WBO 160 belt, for performance enhancing drugs. This guy, that shit is dirty as shit. Nandrolone, yeah, his coach now gave people Nandrolone. And what's the coach's name? The trainer's name?
I forgot his name. Oh man,
somebody can put it in the chat. But see, somebody can put that in the chat because we got knowledgeable boxing fans. Somebody here, damn, you all right? KQ?
No, I'm trying to think the name.
You look like and I thought you caught a hemorrhoid or something.
No.
Thought you caught a hemorrhoid, homie.
I'm trying to think of that name.
Ben Davidson. Butch guy said Ben Davidson.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
So look, man.
Yep,
So
that's
you got
right.
that. So you got that. And when we change off the subject, let me go to blood on the stars, man. We're gonna move over. We're gonna move over to and we're gonna give another to the passing of Patrick Day and conversations that Eddie Hearn, some things that Eddie Hearn said about that. I did a video yesterday, man. I really appreciate if you guys watch this video. It's my favorite video that I've done. It's the best video, the video that I thought was most important that I've done all year long is the one that's up on the channel about Patrick Day.
You know what?
It's for a man on boxing. But go ahead before we get into that, blood.
Wait. For now, I want to say add to that. You know what? I did one also, and it was only 18 minutes, and almost had 1,000 hits on that video because I read the letter that Conwell wrote to Patrick Day, and it was really, it's really touching, and a lot of people said it touched them, and when you get a chance, maybe after you read Fanon, maybe you can take a look at it, So yeah, it was really powerful. So just want to add that. That's what I wanted to add. Sorry about that.
Blood, cool. Blood. What's your thoughts on the subject, man, we had before about Devin Haney and Lomachenko?
Okay, this is the last time, Fanon, that you're gonna go to a different subject and then try to go back to the other subject. Okay, I'm not.
Let me rephrase.
No more. Week I'm moderating. Okay.
Look, first of all, you cheated and brought up the subject 3 subjects ago.
No, we bridge to the other subject. You didn't go back to Lomachenko. Okay.
All right, don't go back to Lomachenko. Talk about both. Please give me your thoughts in any order that you see fit with Lomachenko and the thing with Tyson Fury. And I'm sure in your great eloquence and wisdom, you will throw those motherfuckers together.
I'll bring some thoughts to the table on Tyson Fury, okay? I didn't know anything about all of this glove stuff that you're talking about, but I'll bring it to the table. But as far as Devin Haney, listen, man, I made a video on this a couple of weeks ago. I think it's pathetic that a number 1 ranked fighter should have to chase after one of these title holders like that, okay? I think it's the WBC is what you told me is where this is happening at, which, the WBC has been doing all kind of crazy shit here lately. I'm asking the WBC to please not give away another 2 belts because basically they're going to be giving away 2 belts. If Loma is elevated to franchise champion, it would be a move made by the WBC strictly to protect Lomachenko, okay? Pamper Bob, which I'm going to add that to my vocabulary, courtesy of KQKC. I like that. Pamper Bob sounds good to me. That's the way he's looking these days. But Pamper Bob wants to utilize Lomachenko's white skin to promote a skilled fighter that's non-black when the real money is Devin Haney, okay? The problem is Haney is not a top-ranked fighter. Bob is doing everything to promote Loma to an ESPN audience as a fighter that's better than Ali and better than Sugar Ray Robinson and all that other kind of bullshit he's talking about. Bob has even went as far as to saying that Haney needs more experience. So this is coming from Bob now, okay? Don't get me wrong. Bob and Eddie are about the only 2 promoters putting in work, telling all the lies like they're supposed to, like what promoters do. Those former fighter promoters, they don't promote shit, okay? Once again, those guys don't promote. They don't know how to promote. They're self-promoters at best, okay? Bob is doing what Bob always has done, and that's to barrier build and to block meaningful fights and collect money for Top Rank, and that's basically what he does. I saw Bob in an interview yesterday, and yeah, he's looking real fragile. I've been trying to listen to Bob, and he was once again, he was trying to promote Lomachenko and downplay the Devin Haney fight. If they promote Lomachenko, the franchise champion, that will show you where the WBC is at. I guess that's still up in the air because they were even considering promoting this guy, the franchise champion, to protect him from Devin Haney, which is ridiculous. How can you promote a guy to franchise champion who hasn't even proved to be a franchise for your organization? I mean, he doesn't sell tickets. He's only been champion for one fight, like we said last week. If the boxing world lets Lomachenko duck Devin Haney, then I don't know what to say at this point. If all these boxing writers and all of these people don't bring light to this situation, then it's going to be a sad day in boxing to see Lomachenko duck yet another fighter. And as far as that Salido thing, Devin Haney would have never lost to Salido. He would have beat Salido when he was 12 years old, okay? Salido is an Uber driver, all right? This guy can't fuck with Devin Haney on his best day, all right? It don't matter. Prime for prime don't matter. Devin Haney at no time would ever lose to a C-class bum like Salido, okay? So just to clear that up too. Yeah, that's all they're trying to do basically is protect him. He's part of Bob Arum's Top Rank, so you know, Bob Arum has a great relationship with ESPN. I told you that relationship has been in place ever since the 1980s when they brought forth Top Rank Boxing. And Bob Arum does everything he can to get as much money out of people as he can. So he's trying to promote this Lomachenko guy who I think is the modern-day Vinny Pazienza. He sure takes the ass whooping and his face gets bruised up real easy and fast like Vinny Paz. Lomachenko is just an overrated fighter, man. ESPN, I don't even think they really care that much. It's more of a Bob Arum thing. I don't know how much longer Bob Arum plans on doing this thing with Top Rank. He's looking worse and worse every day, man. Like, I mean, I'm really worried about the guy. He needs to go sit his old ass down somewhere. As far as this whole thing with Tyson Fury and, you know, I'm taking gloves against sparring partners, hey, well, shit, his sparring partners get paid. If they want to get up in there and get their face beat in for less than nothing, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? Go look at the gloves. Make sure that Tyson Fury is using the right gloves. Shit. And make sure you got that headgear on tight. That's all I could say to that. I didn't know anything about this. That whole WWE thing is just a big publicity stunt. And the only reason they're doing the WWE thing is for publicity because his fights are not selling. There's 3,000 or 4,000 people going to his fights. So they're doing everything they can to capture another audience. This is how crazy boxing is now. The other day I was watching boxing, you know, some boxing build-up, and there was these two guys who were like internet guys. I can't even think of these guys' names, man. These guys are not even boxers. They're internet guys, and you have boxers happy that these two guys are coming to the surface with some internet boxing match. I think they're the main event, actually, and Devin Haney might be in their undercard, all right? But this is where boxing is at now, to where they're trying everything they can to get new fans into the sport because it's all about social media now and all of that stuff. It's a different sport. I don't really know what happened to all the hardcore fight fans. Don't know where they went, but this is a new age of boxing, the new age of boxing fight fans. I'm a little bit confused. I'm still trying to get used to it. As long as I've been on social media, I'm seeing something new every year. Now it's an internet of troll match, you know, being pushed as the main event to guys like Devin Haney, which is ridiculous to me. But hey, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But that just goes back to what they're doing with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury can't sell fights. He can't sell the fights that these internet guys can sell, okay? So he's doing what he got to do to make his name bigger. So he's trying to capture the WWE audience. It's strictly a promotional thing, what they're doing with Tyson Fury. So, you know, I don't take it too serious, man. Tyson Fury, after he gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder again, though, he's going to need the WWE. That'd be a great platform for him. He's a big 6'9" guy. You know, they could, the new Andre the Giant or something like that. He's coordinated. So WWE would be great for him after Wilder knocks his ass out again. That's what I got to say about that, bro.
All right. Well, let's move. Anything we covered in blood?
Yeah,
I want to be wrong now.
Yeah, but it's just that from now on, though, you can't be bouncing from subject to subject, okay? Because you be cheating, man. You be cheating. You got a little spreadsheet or something. How you trying to throw people off and shit. You be bouncing. You know, you start out with one subject, then you go to another. That's okay, though. Y'all are going to see blood boxing take over the moderation. It might happen as early as next week. That's right. So
Blood, you dirty. See, now we're going to pull the dark secrets out. Blood ducked the moderator this morning.
That's not true.
Moderator?
I didn't want to moderate today, man. I got a slight cold.
I was going to give him the whole show. Now, Blood going to moderate next week, man, because, we want to make sure we keep things fair and balanced and impartial. Because they all claim that I only like Curtis Anderson.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, can I say one more thing before you change the subject here?
Absolutely. Please say as much as you like.
Listen, to all of you guys out there, I don't know why you guys are shorting us like this. Shout out to Scrapbook Boxing. I see you in this in the chat. I don't know why you guys shortening us like this, man. There's like 200 people who even smashing the like button. Man, give us a rating, man. We waking up early, preparing coffee, man. I don't know how y'all could do us like that, but that's okay, fam. I got you. It's all good.
Hey, man, yeah, let's get this. I keep forgetting to ask because, but this is really to make sure you guys get your notifications and things like that. Please hit the like button. Let's get it over 300, man. We've had over 350 people in the chat basically the whole show. We've got just about 400 people in here. Either if you don't like it, we got 2 haters in here that showed their opinion. Thank you to the guys thank you to Vasily Lomachenko and Vasily Lomachenko's daddy for disliking the video. But other than that, man, let's get them likes up, man. Give KQ, give Curtis Anderson and Blood their respect, man. Let's go on to, first of all, man, let's stop right now. Gotta have a moment of silence. Actually, let's do it official style, man. Oh, but before we do that, Trick Nolte said the Mount Rushmore of boxing OG salute to you as well, sir. Let's hold on one second. There it is. All right, man. Let's get this 10. Let's get this 10 count for Patrick Day. R.I.P. to Patrick Day, passed away this week. So, man, we hate when you have to do that, man. We've been doing that a little too often, and much prefer to be people, scenarios where, you're 95 years old and you had a heart attack up with a lady, and not in situations like this. But let's talk about that, man, and that subject matter, not necessarily Patrick Day himself, because Patrick Day is a warrior, man. He came out there, he did his job, man. He knew what was going on, man, and as a result, it happened. But there was 2 things that I thought were interesting, and that's why I talked about the subject matter of the video that I did. The subject matter of the video was 2 parts. One was Eddie Hearn made a statement that nobody's to blame for this particular event, right? And then there was a doctor from who specializes in head injuries, and he's part of one of these organizations that want to ban boxing because of the fact that because it's risky, and people are getting. I think the stats were 20% of boxers wind up getting CTE, which is degenerative, brain degeneration, right? What we call punch drunk, right? Clearly, that's a result of brain damage. And my point on the matter was that, I disagree with both of them. On one side, as far as nobody being to blame for deaths in boxing, there are things that you can do. I think the deaths in the boxing ring are things that are going to happen. But there are things that you can do to minimize them. And some of the things that I think that we could do to minimize them, right? And I want to get the thoughts of the panel and what they believe about that. And then secondly, but the idea of banning boxing because of it, to me, seems like cherry picking because there are things in the world that cause that if your goal is to reduce brain-related injuries and brain-related deaths, it would make a lot more sense to do away with automobiles and invest your energy in pushing towards public, massive public transportation, insisting that companies make their cars more sturdier and more impact ready. There's things that you could do that would result in the decrease in those type of deaths, which would make a much bigger impact than trying to cherry pick boxing because it's high profile. The fact of the matter is that, I mean, as far as I know, I'm familiar with maybe 1-2 deaths, maybe 1 death a year in boxing. That may be a little high. It seems like it happens. It kind of hits and fits and bursts. You'll have maybe like in 2017 when Joey Franco, and I do believe he's doing a lot better. When he was injured and went into a coma, there was also a heavyweight boxer that switched from MMA, and his first fight going from MMA to boxing, he passed away, and then another guy got put in a coma. But it's kind of like maybe 3 or 4 of these things happen per year. But if you compare that to automobiles, you have 3,000, over 3,500 deaths a day worldwide from automobiles, and over 1.5 million deaths to take place in an industry. And I'm not asking anybody to make comments on that, but if you're familiar with the economics of the car industry and how incredibly damaging it is to the environment and how unnecessary it is to have every individual own 2 and 3 different cars with combustible engines, it would seem to me that if there were people that were very, very serious about trying to minimize the number of deaths that take place as a result of brain injuries, that you would be better attacking the bigger problem than pointing out some small thing which actually provides an source of income and entertainment for other people. So on one side you have, and I understand that people might not follow me on one side of it, but for one thing is for Eddie Hearn, though, to say that there's nothing to blame, and then he goes off on Errol Spence Jr., and people, rightfully so, can criticize Errol Spence for drinking and driving. But this is a man who put Dillian White, who was under the influence of performance-enhancing drugs, in with gloves that were not checked. A third pair of gloves that were never approved by the other team. Put them into a boxing ring now, and to fight. And for him to jump on this high hog when he does something as reckless and irresponsible as that, the fact that you have day before weigh-ins where these people not only can be on performance-enhancing drugs, but can balloon up and fight guys that aren't even in their weight classes. You see guys like the fight that reminds me that always comes to my mind is a fight between Lucas Matisse and this lightweight. I think his last name is Taylor. Is it Emmanuel Taylor? I think he also had fought Adrian Bronner, but the size disparity between these two guys was so immense that you knew no matter what was going to happen, no matter how well one guy was going to fight, that the size difference that Lucas Matisse had over this guy was something else. You also had Bob Arum, who put Antonio Margarito in the ring multiple times with plaster of Paris on his gloves. But anyway, that's the thought that I had on that particular video that I want you guys to watch. What are your thoughts on that blood boxing, man? On that general subject matter, blood.
Okay, look, man. This has been going on in boxing since boxing has started, okay? Back in the days with Perret, even before Perret. I can remember the thing with Dooku Kim. There was also these brothers back in the early 90s I used to follow. They were called the Ruelas brothers. Rafael Ruelas and Gabriel Ruelas. They were one of them brothers, and I don't remember which one it was. Maybe Kurt would remember, had a fight, and I hurt somebody real bad and killed a guy. Was it Kurt? Was it Gabriel or was it Rafael?
It was Gabriel Ruelas. He killed Jimmy Garcia of Colombia. I remember that fight like it was yesterday.
Yeah, there you go. So, and it's always weird on the fighter who ends up hurting the other fighter or killing another fighter, it's a real big loss for everybody, man, and it really wears hard on the fighter. I don't think that Mancini and Rualis and some of these guys were ever the same again after they killed the fighter in the ring, okay? But what they could do, Eddie Hearn is the wrong person. He don't care nothing about none of the fighters anyway. He's a silver spoon kid, okay? He's always had everything he wanted his whole life. Nobody's probably never punched him in the nose his whole life. You know, he's walking around at his private school, being taller than the other kids, and nobody never punched him in the nose and gave him an ass whooping, which he's been needing for a long time. He still needs one, in my opinion. But especially to get out here and say that it's nobody's fault after he let Dillian White get in the ring with other fighters, several other fighters too, because the British Board of Control, they don't have to report when performance enhancers are in the other fighter system. They don't have to report this. So, in my opinion, Eddie Hearn's done this several times, okay? So they need to put something better in place as far as the testing is concerned, all right? With these nonprofit organizations, that's why I'm saying we need some kind of government regulation at this time, because the people who are running that program over there, those guys are full of shit, man, okay? They're in good with these doping control offices and all kind of stuff, man. I know what's going on. I did my research. So Eddie Hearn needs to shut the fuck up. On top of that, he let Dillian White go in there with some gloves that was were faulty, some faulty gloves, okay? That wasn't approved of. So he needs to shut the fuck up. And you know what kills me is that the boxing media will continue to let this guy say stuff like that. Nobody's going to ask this guy, which I didn't hear what Eddie Hearn said, but for him to even fix his mouth and say something like that and not get a follow-up question about what happened with Dillian White is fucking ridiculous. That's why I don't keep my ear to the boxing media as much as I probably should, because they're full of shit. They don't ever follow up on these when people make stupid statements like that, okay? It is somebody's fault. It's the people's fault who oversee that, these fighters are safe and look at all the things such as the testing, the gloves, all of that stuff, okay? As far as boxing, there's always going to be some kind of death in the sport because it's a combat sport. You're taking punches to the head, all right? That's why fighters should get paid comfortably. But you should only get paid comfortably if you're fighting the top fighters, the best fighters in the world, because there's several people out there with boxing gloves on right now in some gym taking shots to the head, okay? They're taking shots to the head right now, all right? So when you put the best against the best, that's why you get paid comfortably, in my opinion, okay? As far as that's all they could do, man. That's what I'm trying to think about this. The only thing they could do is tighten up on the testing, make sure that the gloves are right, just try to make sure that the safety measures are in place. That's really all we could do, is make sure the safety measures are in place, man. Because when we're losing the fighter, not only are we losing the fighter, but somebody's losing a father. You got people out there losing a son, a brother, to this sport. It's a brutal sport, man. We're going to have losses in the sport, man. And, the people who oversee the testing and the safety measures, they're the ones who are to blame when these kind of things happen. I mean, they're going to happen anyway, but we just need to make sure that we did everything that we could do to make sure that the safety of these fighters are put first, man. That's all I got to say about it. It's unfortunate, man. R.I.P. to Patrick Day, bro.
KQKC, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they are picking on boxing, not picking on them, but choosing. But you got football. I met a young man named Daryl Stingley, and he had got paralyzed by a guy named Jack Tatum, helmet on helmet hitting, and now they outlawed that. But as far as boxing goes, I mean, same thing can happen in basketball. You go up for a rebound, and next thing you know, you fall wrong and hit your head on the floor. But, in boxing, it's a sport, and it's a combat sport, and it's up to you It's your decision if you want to do it or not. But it's ways that you can protect yourself. And he's right. Eddie Hearn don't give a shit about nobody. All he cares about is how much money that he's gonna make off that fight. You know, see, I said on my live stream the other day, how can you sit there and shed tears for a man that passed, you know, and you only met him for 5 minutes? In the same breath, you said that Earl Spence, you know, that was pretty much stupid or driving drunk. Now, we all know you can drink a tall can of beer and be legally drunk, but you're not drunk. You see? But the point I'm trying to make is this. None of these promoters give a shit about these boxers. They don't have no union for these boxers like the NFL player union. They don't have no HMO. Hell, they ain't got Medicaid. They had to come out their pocket. I remember when Floyd Mayweather went, because he broke his knuckles, he went to the hospital. How you gonna pay for this? Cash. I'm a self-made man. You know, he got to brag. I'm a self-made man. No, motherfucker, you ain't got no insurance. Why? Because they are greedy, like the governing bodies are greedy. Every year they go up on a sanction. You know, and shout out to Charlo for paying for Patrick Day's funeral. You know, they said everything under the moon about the Charlos. They couldn't even get up that hill and over without them saying something. So what I'm trying to say is it is things that you can do and put in place, you know, without the help of the promoters, because they in on this shit too. Bob Arum is cheating his ass off since 1965. And got busted for paying a governing body official $100,000 and got a slap on the wrist and a fine. So, I mean, you have to protect yourself. You know, yeah, they in there, and your guy must be watching his guy must be watching you, you know. But that don't mean what's in your damn body has been checked. They should check them right before they get in that goddamn ring. Then afterwards. Now, I know it's sometimes, you know, it's always a way around the shit. People always find a way around how to steal cable, how to do this, how to sell cigarettes with food stamps. I mean, all kind of ways to do shit. But, you know, sometimes you just got to take a chance and hope things come out for the best. That's all I can say about that. That's the only thing. And you know what? And more blessings to all these boxers. Deontay Wilder is right. You know, sometimes you just got to pray that both of y'all leave that motherfucking walking. You know, because see, boxing, you know, the cranium is not meant to be hit, for one. And for two, I get it. Everybody want to see everybody fight 3 or 4 times a year. My father told me just the other day, Muhammad Ali's fought maybe a good 2 times a year. You know? So therefore, you know, sometimes maybe 1 or 2 times is enough and let your brain heal. Do you think about that? You know? So that's all I have.
Hey, Curtis Anderson. Oh, let me get a couple of these super chats, man. I appreciate your support. And also, we had 275 likes, man. Let's try to get them likes over 300. That would be greatly appreciated. And we got a dislike. Eddie Hearn came into the building. Demario Washington said, Fanon, do you think boxing needs a commission? We can do a conversation about that. All right, I'll take a note on that, man, and we'll do that's something we should pull up on another video. And we talk about that every once in a while. But that's a little in depth to be going in for the remaining time that we have. Let me get to these super chats, man. Kenneth Johnson, man, much love in that super chat. Thank you, sir. It says salute OG boxing. Stefano Martinez, much love in that super chat. And IFBBLG9, great show today, fellas. Keep up the good work, man. We definitely appreciate your support. And also, if there's anybody that donated through the Cash App, I could not find my phone this morning, so I won't be able to see it. D-Style Boxing just came in there and said, shout out to all the OGs, man. Much love in that super chat. D-style boxing. Curtis Anderson, man, what are your thoughts on that subject?
Well, unfortunately, Patrick Day, lost his life. I'm not sure if he had kids. He had a family, of course. And it's very sad. We want to be entertained. We want blood and guts. We want to see somebody get knocked out. And these boxers we ask them to fight the best fighters, and we want to see an exciting fight, Hagler Hearns or whatever, and these boxers risk their lives. There's been over 500 deaths in the ring since the turn of the century. Even Sergey Kovalev killed somebody, and I remember watching the Willie Klassen versus Wilfred Scipion. That was a fight that happened in '78. An Afro-Puerto Rican fighter who was very popular in the New York area. He lost his life in the ring. That's when it became really, really serious, because I saw up and close that a man could die in the ring. And then in 1982, you had Ray Boom Boom Mancini and Duke Koo Kim. You had Benny Kid Paret. It's tragic. You've seen Gerald McClellan turn into a vegetable. Unfortunately, he's not dead, but he's not the same. They try to ban boxing. Every time there's a death, they try to ban it. It's a business. It's never going away. It makes people millions and millions of dollars. So they try to attack boxing. Boxing has a rich history. And unfortunately, there's been people who have lost their lives. It's sad. You think about it, I'm like, man, this guy Patrick Day, a young guy, try to make a living, to support himself and his loved ones, and he, unfortunately passed away. There's nothing you can do. They try to regulate boxing from 15 rounds to 12 rounds because of Ray Boom Boom Mancini. They wanted fighters to wear headgear, and that's just like taking a shower with a raincoat. It's not going to work out like that. You can't wear headgear, in a live boxing match. It's going to turn a lot of people off. And you had, people who never liked boxing wants to ban it, and it's just, unfortunately, it comes with the territory. It's like auto racing. Many people have lost their lives, crashing into walls or the car flipping over, like you said, for automobile deaths, it's prominent. It's just sad. It's not much I could say. Looking at this man Patrick Day, like I said, Jimmy Doyle lost his life to Sugar Ray Robinson, where Robinson had a dream that he killed somebody. He was gonna kill somebody, and people talked him out of it. And unfortunately, Jimmy Doyle lost his life. So the only thing, like KQKC said about Deontay Wilder, the only thing we can hope and pray is that both men can walk out of the ring where everything intact, mentally and physically.
Yes, sir. Let me get this super chat. Then we're gonna go on to our last subject of the day, man, and one that I think is still going to be very contentious. But it's going, but we're gonna wrap it up because we're not ducking. Hold on, let me get this. We're not ducking the subjects, man. I've gotten more headache on this crap than I have pretty much on anything from people that I respect in the LDBC. People, by the way, I hear this conversation going on about race and all that. Look, man, Blood Boxing would like the channel, and because Blood Boxing is the executive producer of OG Boxing Talk, really does want people to have more freedom to say what they want to say in this particular chat that he is the executive producer over. I am a little less tolerant, just generally speaking, because that's just my personality. I like to be, if you playing around, you got to go, because I would rather know for sure. I would rather have somebody thrown out that didn't deserve to be thrown out than somebody being here and I miss it and they wind up making this an unpleasant experience for people that come on a regular basis. That's my thought. But this particular show, please be a little more lenient to what people have to say, because that's the wish of the other co-hosts, man. And it's on my channel, but this is a show that that we all participate. Everybody on this panel and Drew Titan participate in. So please be a little more lenient than you usually would be on the 11. That's to the moderators than you usually would be on the 11:15 a.m. Monday through Friday show. Because on that one, look, man, I'm talking to people that I want to talk to. All right, we got 30,000 subscribers on this channel. We might have 6,000, 7,000 really good, solid supporters, and that's all that I need. And those are the people that I want to talk to every day. And if you come in here making life uncomfortable for them, you got to go. You know what I mean? That's my thing. But on this particular chat, let them be a little more free with it, because Monday through Friday that we're not going to be tolerant of it. Is that a fair representation of what's going on, Blood?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, just let people say what they want to say. If it's anything like racist, like fuck you niggers or something like that, some crazy shit, then yeah, get rid of those, man. But just because somebody says that they don't like your favorite fighter or something like that, that's not no reason to use a wrench and get rid of their comment, man. We need all the support we could get over here. We want true boxing fans over here, man. If they're doing obvious trolling, then yes, get rid of them, because we don't need that we don't want them people over here. But if they're just offering to us a boxing opinion that we don't agree with, then, there's no need to use the wrench for that. That's my opinion on the whole thing. So yeah, I agree with everything you said for now.
Yeah, so that's just so you know, that's the moderators. That's for this one. On my Monday through Friday, usually I let you guys if you guys think it's a good decision, I'm okay with it. But if another moderator brings up an issue with you overdoing it, then I'm gonna snatch a wrench. As you know, there's been people that have lost their wrenches because other moderators pointed out that they were going over the hill with their stuff. So, but on this one, please just be a little more tolerant than we usually are Monday through Fridays. Now we're gonna switch on to this particular subject, man. Claressa Shields' brother charged with felony assault on Ali Basheer. This will give me a little background on what happened. Claressa Shields, and I did watch the whole video now, not just the clip, but the whole thing. Claressa Shields' sister was kind of going at it with Ali Basheer. Ali Basheer responded to some threats by her, from what I saw, and went off. Said a bunch of real foul shit about how he would whoop her. If you want to fight me like a man, I'm gonna knock you out like a man. All that type of stuff. We're all familiar with that. Then afterwards, after that ended, at the time, the day that happened, the last time we had this conversation, what we knew was somebody sucker punched him, and he wound up having to go to the emergency room or go to the hospital with a broken. I think he had broken teeth, might have had a broken cheekbone. Right, was knocked unconscious. It now winds up that Claressa Shields' brother has been charged with felony assault. And shout out to Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More, who sent most people in the LDBC got an actual copy of the rap sheet of Claressa Shields' brother. He had mental health. He's had mental health issues. He's been arrested 2 times for arson. He had been arrested before and charged with felony assault with attempt to murder. He had been arrested for carrying a concealed weapon, and there might be one more charge associated with that happened before this. And now he's been charged with felony assault without a deadly weapon, and it's just all around. But Claressa Shields is not going to be suspended. She's not going to have anything happen to her other than her fight having been canceled. My question, I'm going to start with Curtis Anderson, because I don't think I've started a question with Curtis Anderson yet. Curtis, now that we know the totality of the situation, except for the young man has not been convicted. So put a caveat. I want to say that he's been accused of that, right? But he'd been accused of those other things before, and now it seems like it's somebody that is very close to Clarissa Shields' team, and that is her brother. I don't know if you call that part of her team or not. I want you to give me your thoughts on that, Curtis Anderson.
Well, first of all, I ran into James Basheer Ali's family in downtown Newark. They say he's improving rapidly. He suffered a broken teeth and a broken jawbone. He's recovering, slowly. Well, slowly, but he'll be okay. He's 71 years old. He's an elderly. This animal who punched a 71-year-old man from behind, and Basheer Ali hit his face on the marble floor, should be prosecuted, should be convicted, and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. He's a coward. This whole city in Newark wants a piece of him, man. But I'm glad he's in custody. I don't know if he is. I'm hearing. I heard he has a lengthy rap sheet. He has mental issues, but he knew what he was doing. What bothers me, Fanon, and chat, the panel, is that Clarissa Shields knew who did it, and she tried to separate herself. First, she lied. She said, I don't know the person who did it. I don't know nothing. She tried her best to separate herself from the situation. Cost her $1 million, and it could have been a lot worse. But she lied, though. She said she didn't know the culprit, the perp. And it turned out to be her own blood, which is her brother. Some people blame her, saying she should, have a tight rein on her camp. You can't control what other people do. You can't. I done seen it where, and we all have seen it where boxing press conferences, get out of control. But you don't run up and sucker punch anybody. I don't care if he was 25 years old. He's 71. I know he was talking. So what? How many press conferences we seen people, go face to face and talk and yell at each other, eyeball to eyeball, but yet, nobody throws a punch because they fully understand what can happen. So you get a lot of posturing and, like Rams out and, out in the field, butting heads and bluffing, but nobody throws a punch and hits a 71-year-old man from behind. It's a bad feeling when anybody get hits from behind. You don't see it coming. That man could have died. So I'm glad that punk or savage or animal is going to be locked up. He deserves it. He deserves to get hit and punched. I have personal interest because I know Basheer Ali very well. He's one of the many trainers we have who trains local fighters from, in Newark, the boxing gyms, and so I'm glad that this animal, I don't know how much time he's going to get. I don't know the workings of what's going on with that, but I'm just glad that they caught him. And, I'm kind of emotional about it, man. It's hard for me to look at the video, blood all over the place. And, it could have been a lot worse for Clarissa, but, like I said, you can't control people who's in your camp. And if you notice, most fighters always have hangers on where there's somebody from the hood or somebody who don't really know boxing, who don't care about the fight, but they just want to be there to see what's going on. And some of them start trouble. Look at Riddick Bowe and Andrew Galata, that brought in Madison Square Garden, or Maurice Blocker's, I wouldn't want to mess with his family, Maurice Blocker entourage, or Tank. Tank had a guy in his entourage that the FBI was looking for, and he was at the fight. So boxing in years past always had a history of entourages where there's one or two, or maybe a group of people that don't belong nowhere near the fighter and can make the fighter look bad or mess up his or her career. So I'm just glad, they got this punk for now.
KQKC. Now, hey man, thank you, Curtis Anderson, man. Let me say that first, man. Curtis, I didn't realize, never made the connection between you and Ali Basheer out there in New Jersey. Man, my condolences. What's going on, Legendary Topcats? If you ain't subscribed to Legendary Topcats, you missing a great show in the morning. Comedy, man, at its finest, man. What's good, Legendary Topcats? Now, I know heard that Legendary Topcats and KQKC both have a similar opinion about this dude hitting Ali Basheer. So we got balance. We do have balance on the panel. I'm gonna give my opinion later, and you guys ain't, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Okay. I ain't saying nothing just because I think you might want to hear it. Okay. But KQKC, what's your thoughts on the matter? What's your thoughts on the matter? On the matter of this cat? Is a specific question for you. This particular guy being allowed to be in that place to begin with. Did Clarissa Shields have any responsibility related to her brother, knowing that he was that type of dude? And what do you think should happen moving forward?
Well, first of all, sorry, Kurt, I didn't know you was that close to Mr. Basheer. But Clarissa Shields, she wasn't lying because she wasn't there. For one, she was in there in the washroom, matter of fact, with her strength and conditioning coach. Now, she probably found out later on when it happened, later on, not right then and there, but later on, because she wasn't even around when it happened. That's why she didn't get nothing done to her. But when you're dealing with mental illness, yes, you do know right from wrong sometimes, but mental illness is more than that. People say, well, he didn't write this, but that's not mental illness. That's some of it. Yeah, you can be crazy and then crazy, but I don't mean to say crazy, but it's mental illness, it's mental illness, it's mental illness. And yes, when someone is cursing out your sister, knowing your sister is a homosexual, and you say everything under the sun to her. I'm not saying go and hit an old man. No, I'm not saying that. Because you know me, I said I'll put somebody down in a wheelchair. But see, here where I'm from, the game bangers is rolling around in wheelchairs, right? But they still game banging. They still game banging. They still carry their pistol under their seats. I know for a fact, but sometimes you have to watch what you say to anybody because you never know what might happen. How he know he was a 71-year-old man? He don't know because he don't look it to me. Matter of fact, he kept himself up pretty good to me. But he didn't know that probably that, all that was going to happen. Yeah, he did hit him in the head. I would have, waited and hit him in the face. But he fell and broke himself. But yes, he had been but we know the law. And for now, I know the law too. And he does have a history of mental illness. And when you have a trait of mental illness, because I just had a friend that go through this. Mental illness, yeah, he gonna get a slap on the wrist. I'm gonna tell you right now, because it's on tape, everything under the sun that he said to her. And that's his sister. Blood is thicker than water. If somebody's messing with my father and or sister, I look, I'm tired. I'm sorry. You better keep your head on a swivel because you're not going to mess with none of my family members and think it's okay. Now, if you know that, because I know many press conferences, they got down. Now it might be for show or whatever, but they was touching. But I'll tell you one thing, nah, that don't fly. Not here in Chicago, it don't. No, you're not going to talk about my family member and sit there. And I'm going to say, well, okay, I'll accept your apology if you apologize. But we know how people look at us homosexuality. And plus, with mental illness, and you got that combined, you know, he might have been close to her at home. And Clarissa Shield probably like, shit, I won't be bothering him, you know. And plus, you know, her entourage was the ones with the jacket. He just was there. She probably even know he was coming there. I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, none of us was there. But we always go by the news report. We know they ain't right half the time. So, but that's all I have to say. Well, that's all I have to say.
Let me get a couple of these super chats before I pass this to Blood. Mahari Nation Sportscast Podcast said, "What's up, OGs? Did you see my email for 9? Yeah, man, we talked about it, man. Thank you for sending that in. Also, please subscribe to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Yeah, we talk. You talking about the one that came from with the Tyson Fury and the gloves issue, man. Yeah, we talked about that before you gave here, and I shouted you out and let people know that they could go check out your channel and your video that you did on that. That's, Mahari Nation's Sports Podcast. Also, much love in that super chat to General Squirrels. He said, question, OG, should stoppages come early to stop this? Man, that's a balancing act. I'll just give my quick answer to that so we can keep it rolling. I'm sorry I got to your question late, General Squirrels. But what General Squirrels is talking about is should stoppages of fights come earlier because, you know, to prevent deaths in the ring? Man, I don't know, because it's just so subjective, man. And whenever you get hit in the head, you know, things are gonna, you know, it's your brain. You're not supposed to be hit in the head, man. So I don't know. I don't think there's any way you can really stop concussions and things and brain damage from happening in the sport of boxing, because, you know, the root of it is that's the purpose. That's what you're trying to do. Boxing came around at a time where they were trying. The history behind boxing is this in Great Britain or in the UK. Is that boxing was called a gentleman's sport because it was they were trying to transition from what the French would do, which is 3 paces forward and turn around and shoot, right? Those type of duels, or duels with knives. And that was going around when one man would insult the pride of another man, they would wind up stabbing each other, you know, or doing something, getting together, and the end of it would be the guy was going to lose his life. If you look at some of the stories about how the fights happened in the UK around, the turn of the beginning of the 19th century, end of the 18th century, with fighters like Bill Richmond and Tom Cribb and Tom Mellenwaw and these guys, a lot of these people started fighting because they wanted to settle a dispute. And so they said, we're not going to hold it now. What we're going to do is we're going to have a fight. And I'm going to put money up. You're going to put money up. People can come around and gamble, and they would settle up that dispute like that in an official manner. That's the creation of the sport of boxing. So, it was prize fighting at the time, and then the Marquess of Queensberry rules came on at a later point in time. But the essence of boxing is violence, and it is to settle disputes between two people. And that, I think, for me, what's going on? Is that drink more water, man? I'm sorry, I missed your. Where's this? Anyway, I'll get back to that. That'll be. I'll talk a little bit more about that in my viewpoint on what's going on. But Blood and shout out to all the OGs from D Style. I think I got that. Blood Boxing in the building, man. What's your take on it, Blood?
Tunnel Vision says, Fanon, if he has mental health issues, let's not just brush that by. That's a major factor. That is a major factor. And if he does have mental health issues, then he needs to be in a facility that can handle those behaviors. There's places for people like this. I worked in one for 6 years, and I'm telling you something, people with mental health issues and things like that, they have an extra strength, man. I was in a full contact facility for 6 years where I had to put these people in restraints and all kind of stuff. I'm talking people as young as 20, 21 in their physical prime. You know, me and one other guy would have to put some big 200-pound guy, 250 guy in some restraints. I used to administer meds for him, all kind of stuff. If he's dangerous to the public and population, he needs to be somewhere where those behaviors can be handled. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you guys, all these people coming out trying to defend it and say he was out of pocket and this and that. They're new to boxing. They didn't watch boxing coming up, because The worst trainer that I ever saw was fucking Lou Duva. Lou Duva got in people's face. He attacked people, all kind of stuff. The guy was fucking crazy. He was always on edge. He was always up in fighters' faces, threatening their lives. It's all over the internet. This shit is up. I've been doing a little bit of research on some of these fighters, and he actually trained some of the fighters. And I've always knew that Lou Duva was a loose cannon, but man, revisiting some of that shit, I'm like, damn, James Ali Basheer got hit after for that little shit he said. Look how Lou Duva used to talk to these fighters and all kind of people, and Teddy Atlas is another one, and you know, it's been going on in boxing forever. That doesn't mean you go and hit somebody, okay? And on top of that, steal somebody like the little bitch he is, okay? I said it before and I'll say it again. The guy that stole Mr. Basheer is a bitch, all right? Anyone who claims they can relate to him is relating to a bitch-ass nigga that hit an old man when his back was turned, all right? The minute you start defending that loser, the more respect I lose for these bitch-ass clowns out here, okay? There's no defending what he's done. I never directly blame Clarissa. However, I don't like her attitude in this whole thing. And I have decided to no longer support her. That's my decision. I don't want to hear nothing about bringing down a sister. I support plenty of black business owners in my geographic region, and plenty of them are black women. I don't need to feel like I've done my part supporting a bubblegum smacking uppity ass Negro that lacks compassion like Clarissa Shields. All right? That's my decision not to support her. I don't like her attitude. Nobody asked her to get on Instagram with all that stupid shit she talking. The girl, 25, 26 years old. All right, this ain't no little kid here. Coming into the camera, smacking gum and acting like everything all good. It ain't all good. You know, and now you have these Clarissa Shields extremes coming out of the woodwork with their faceless pages and stuff like that. Where the fuck was they? Where the fuck was all these people when we was making videos on Clarissa and building her image on social media? Now they want to come over here telling us and chastising us like we never supported her before. You motherfuckers are not fans of boxing. You fans of Clarissa. Stay the fuck off my page, all right? I told y'all I'd give you my address. You want my address? I'll give it to you, okay? I'll give you my address. Write me behind the scenes. And you don't come over here with that bullshit. I'm talking shit from your faceless account. Be willing to show up, motherfucker, okay? I personally think y'all are people that know her. Okay, you know her. You know this girl personally. Okay, all right, and you know this guy who stole Basheer. You probably know him personally. Okay, you probably know the little bitch personally. Since you want to talk tough, I'll talk tough. I'll end the life with the movement of my finger. Okay, I mean, it's sad. Okay, listen, it's sad seeing another black man going before the judicial system. But what's even more sad is what happened to Mr. Basheer while his back was turned and he was hit with a sucker punch. Since Basheer deserved it, then the guy that stole him deserves what he gets. And to all the future trainers and teams that will be facing Clarissa and Team Clarissa in the future, you will be stupid not to bring some people with you who can handle bitch niggas who like to steal people from behind. I don't respect the boxing media because for the most part, these clowns are trying to defend the bullshit. I've seen people trying to defend Clarissa. It wasn't her fault. We all know that shit, okay? She came on here and showed no class whatsoever, okay? The internet has all kinds of people. There's guys like me that show my face on here and have my real name out there, okay? Then there's these faceless cowards that like to come around and with threats and old war stories about how tough they are and all that. All you guys could jump into the flames of eternity for all I care, okay? What that guy did was some sucker ass shit. I'm gonna say it again. It was some sucker ass shit. He stole the man. It's not even like he went and checked him. It's not even like he looked him face to face and checked the 71-year-old. He stole him from behind like a bitch does, okay? So to me, he got a vagina between. He might as well have a vagina between his legs. That's right. You might as well have a fucking pussy because that's what he is. That's all I got to say about it. And I don't give a fuck about Clarissa either. For all I care, her career could go to hell. For all I give a fuck, I don't care about her. All right, don't come over here with that black power pimp shit, telling me about who I need to support. I support the sister. I support plenty of sisters. All right, eat a dick, motherfucker. That's what I gotta say. That's where I'm putting it.
Well, Blood told you eat a dick, so proceed. Proceed to chomp on that dick. Look, man. This is my thing. And I want everybody to get their say so, and that's all good. Look, man, fuck all that out. He was crazy shit. Okay. I said, yeah, he had mental health issues, man. So does everybody. You still don't let a wild ass dog running around the neighborhood just because he got beat and he got problems and he's human. You got a wild ass dog running around that you let this motherfucker off the leash. And you know damn well if some little kid try to put their hand on that dog is going to bite into their arm. That dog gets put to sleep. They put his ass in a room. They fill that motherfucker up with some however the fuck they euthanize them dogs. They euthanize them. Because there's one thing about feeling sorry for what somebody has gone through in life and whatever type of issue they have in their head. There's quite another thing to allow them to randomly run around burning shit down, carrying guns that they damn well this crazy motherfucker intends to use, trying to kill somebody, and then taking that wild ass dog and bringing him into a press conference and letting him run around. You put wild ass dogs on leashes in your backyard. If you have a wild ass dog with you that you should not just be letting off the leash and running around, and you know what that is? That's assault with a deadly weapon. Literally, that's assault with a deadly weapon. It doesn't matter whether or not whether that animal had its own mind or whatever. It's your dog. You brought that dog in there. That dog bit somebody. That dog tried to kill a kid. Okay? I had a wonderful German Shepherd when I was a kid. Wonderful German Shepherd. Ran around the house. I knew that motherfucker was crazy as shit. One of them I don't know if people in Chicago remember PetSmart, but it's like you can just go buy a dog. Like you can go to Petco now and get dog food. You used to be able to just go in there and buy a dog. So my dad went in there and bought a German Shepherd from not PetSmart, Puppy Palace. It was called Puppy Palace. Bought a dog from Puppy Palace. All kind of bad breeding, all kind of crazy. The dog was crazy as shit from the time we let the little motherfucker out of his cage. Just ran around the house. Ah! One little dude, we had him tied up on the porch. I'm playing tetherball. With a dog, right? With my boy. Lived next door to me, playing tetherball. You remember it's a stick with the string. You used to throw that shit around and then, swing around at the top. You win tetherball. So we playing tetherball and my dog is on a chain up on the porch. And the dog starts licking his tongue and my friend's like, I want to pet him. I was like, don't pet him. Don't pet him. Kept throwing it. See, man, dog didn't listen to me. Went up there and got on my porch, pet that dog. 39 stitches later on an 11-year-old boy, I never saw my dog again. Because they immediately put that motherfucker to sleep. It didn't matter that boy was told, don't go up on that porch, don't pet that dog. That wild ass dog hurt that boy, that wild ass dog got put to sleep. I don't care what Clarissa Shields' brother, personal problems this dude got, lead in his water, mama didn't treat him right, whatever. You a wild ass dog. You a wild ass dog. And wherever they got to put that fucking wild ass dog, you need to put that fucking wild ass dog wherever the fuck that wild ass dog will be, so he don't fucking bite me. Nobody deserves to be in a room with a motherfucker like that. Why the fuck should I have to go to a boxing match but accidentally bump into his sister and say, oh, I'm sorry. And she say, oh, man, don't be bumping up on me. I'll slap the shit out you. You bump up on me. And I say, man, get the fuck out of my face. You ain't about to fight me. I'll whoop your ass if you fight me. And then I walk away and this motherfucker shoot me. This nigga take a bat to the back of my fucking head. You fucking crazy? Put that fucking dog away. That's a wild ass dog that she brought into a place in contact with other people. She know this dude had got arrested for arson twice. She knows this dude had been arrested for battery with intent, assault with intent to murder. She knows what kind of dude this dude is. But you guys are going to say, well, you shouldn't have put your hand in the mouth of that dog. Well, you're right. I got bit by that dog. I shouldn't have. That little boy shouldn't have climbed the stairs. He shouldn't have tried to put his hands on that dog. But he did. And damn near 40 stitches later, that dog is asleep. I waited because I knew, and I'm talking to y'all that got on me so hard. I knew damn well who did that shit, and every fucking body that defended that shit knew who that was. People knew it was her brother the next fucking day. People knew the same day who did it. The same day. I had emails, people like, man, that was her brother did that shit. Her brother did that shit. Coach Sheldon Harris did a video the next day, man, it was her brother. People knew who her brother was, knew her brother's rap sheet, knew all that shit about that dude. But y'all were defending him saying, hey, we don't even know who it is. Okay, we don't know who it is. I'll wait till we find out who it is. But now that ain't part of his team. Now I want to hear another distinction. It's his brother. That ain't part of his team. Come on, man. You think she didn't know her brother was going there? To the weigh-in? You don't think her sister and her family, other family members, cousins in the hometown of Flint, Michigan knew he was there? Of course they did. Y'all got on me saying, hey, man, it's fucked up if you call for her to be suspended because of that. My initial thought was she knows who the dude is. She knows who did that. And I looked at the whole video. Her sister started that shit with Ali Basheer. Sister started that shit. That's why I said the scenario where I'm walking by and I bump it. Now, let me ask everybody that defended that, right? Do I deserve that? Put me in this shoe. I walk in to a press conference with Carissa Shields. Her sister's there. Her brother's there. I accidentally step on the white gym shoes of her sister. Her sister says, I'm going to fuck you up for stepping on my shoe. And I say, man, it keeps going off. And I'm like, look, if you touch me, I'm going to beat I'm going to slap the shit out you if you touch me. You can talk all that shit, but get up out my face talking crazy shit. He should be able to shoot me in the head. He should be able to take a bat and bust me upside the head. Yes, I said something. I touched him. I deserve it. And guess what? Put that dog to sleep. There's two people that are affected by that. You bring wild ass animals, because they're crazy, right? He ain't that crazy. He ain't that crazy. He knows where he is. He knows his sister's name. He ain't babbling and drooling. This dude purposely chose to punch that dude upside the head. And from what I understand, is he was gonna try to do more to the guy when he was on the ground. Nah, man. And Clarissa Shields, I disagree with you, KQKC. Well, I don't disagree, but I find it very doubtful that when she did her Twitter thing the next day, she put that Twitter up. I do believe it was the next day. But I had already heard that it was her brother before I saw her Twitter post. I find it very hard to believe. And what she went on about was that it was nobody in her team. She only has females in her team. No female, they all have quote on the back of their uniforms. Everything she said pointed away from it being a man who didn't have quote on her shirt. Is her brother part of her team? You know what that is? That's a distinction without a difference. It don't matter. She was there with her. There's no excuse for that, man. And honestly, there's no defending it. And the thing that bugs me more than the scenario is the defense of it. Because we all know Juniper P, it still isn't her fault, but it's not your fault either, but you're defending it. You're trying to find something that defends what that man did. And at a certain point in time, there's shit that's not defensible. Okay? I had a conversation with 78. I'm not going to tell you the subject about it. It was the only time 78 Sports TV ever really got so upset with something that I said that we ended the stream. And I realized when I did that, it was like, you know what he perceives? He perceives that I'm defending the undefendable. At a certain point, the things that you do, you cannot defend. You just can't do it. That's indefensible. And when you participate in the defense of it, it makes you suspect. It makes you suspect. I have to think, why would this person defend this wild animal running up and biting an old man and damn near killing him? By telling him that the man shouldn't have pet the dog, or the man shouldn't have made the dog angry? What sense does that make? That's like these people do with these mass murders at schools, right? When it's these little kids, and this isn't racist, but I'm not trying to be. But when you have somebody and the little black kids in shooting each other on the street corners, man, that's insanity. You think that shit's sane? It's not. Okay, it's not. The reaction, all that shit you see in The Wire, I'd watch that show on The Wire. Marlowe's crazy. The kids killing each other on the corner, they're crazy. They're crazy because they are doing things. They have no regard for life. That the essence of sanity, the essence of life is self-preservation. And when you don't care about life, you are by definition crazy. But you see that with kids coming with these mass shootings in schools. Immediately it's mental illness. What is it that is creating these people's absolute disregard for the value of life? It's not sane. But just like somebody said up here when they said, well, the thing that gets me is that Amber Geiger gets 10 years for what happened in Texas with the young man, and this guy's going to get 10 years for punching somebody. You know how unfair. You can't use. Are you trying to use Amber Geiger as a defense? What do you think we should do? Let him off the hook? Say, oh, because she should have been away for the rest of her life? That he should only. Which do you want? I say throw her away for the rest of her life. Yeah, she should have been in jail for the rest of her life. Okay, that's her. What about him? Well, nah, since we don't really want her to go for her life, but we want, since she got 10 years, we don't want him to get punished. I don't even understand what you're doing. I don't understand what you're doing with the comparisons and the defenses that you're making. The shit makes no sense. I've had people make arguments about whether or not Ali Basheer was 68 or he was 71. What difference does it make if he was 68 or he's 71? I've heard people make defenses that it wasn't really a weigh-in, it was a pre-weigh-in. What fuck difference does it make? If it was a pre-weigh-in or if it was a weigh-in, what fuck difference does that make? But when you defend the undefensible, you have to make stupid, irrelevant ass arguments and grasp for straws, looking for shit. Oh, maybe he wasn't on the team. We don't really know if he was on the team. We don't really know what was in her head at the time. Man, it don't fucking matter. It don't matter. This dude need to be put away wherever the fuck he needs to be put away. And we knew that last week. All we did was, this is like talking to AJ fans. We knew AJ wasn't that good. We just fucking waited around, watched the clock for his ass to lose. That's what I did last week on this. Really? Watch the clock. It's going to be her brother. Like everybody already knows it's her brother. Clarissa, as far as not defending Clarissa Shields, dude, I don't got any problem with Clarissa Shields as a boxer. I just tell you, like I said it before. She's not the GOAT. She's not the best fighter that there is right now. And I don't understand why you guys, and we're going to switch this on to this subject to be the last one of it, but her as a boxer. Her as a boxer. Dude, she unified belts. Great. Cecilia Brækhus unified all the belts too, and she's defended them 10 times. She's 35-0. Why would somebody that's 9-0 be the greatest woman of all time when you got somebody that's 35-0 and who held all the belts and defended it 4 times? Somebody that is guess what? I'm a damn cornball and you bye-bye. Yeah, I'm a cornball. See, that's why we don't have tolerance. I don't have tolerance for trolls. because you can't respond intelligently to anything that I said, because these are not, you can't argue with these things. These are basic objective truths. Cecilia Brækhus has done 10 times as much in her career as Claressa Shields has, without a doubt. It's just an objective fact. You can box wreck that. That's why I'm like, nah, I can't give you greatest fighter of all time. I don't love Cecilia Brækhus. She got fucking 35-0, and she's defended her belts, all major 4 belts, 9 times or 10 times. What do you want me to do? You want me to make it up like she don't fucking exist? That's that Anthony Joshua shit, man, that you doing with Anthony Joshua. Saying, well, who she fought? Look how fast Anthony Joshua got to be 3 belts. Who is Deontay Wilder fought? Dude, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Dude, she's not done as much as Brækhus has. She's not. In no way, shape, or form is she accomplished in her career what Cecilia Brækhus has, and Cecilia Brækhus is still fighting right now. Why would you say she's the greatest of all time when she hasn't accomplished as much as somebody that's fighting right now? Don't be some marketing person for Claressa Shields, or actually go watch other women's fighters. Because what I think is, you don't know who Cecilia Brækhus is. That's what I think. I think you guys don't watch enough women's boxing to know who she is. Most people that I say, what about Cecilia Brækhus, don't even know who she is. But that don't mean she ain't there. Anyway, I went off on that one, man, but don't defend wild fucking dogs trying to kill somebody. The dog gets put to sleep. And number 2, don't try to say Claressa Shields is the greatest woman of all time after 9 fights. After 9 fights, because she unified a belt, when there are people who fought 35 fights, defended and won all 4 belts and defended them 10 times. Cecilia Brækhus got more title defenses, more undisputed unified title defenses than Claressa Shields has fights. But she's greater than everybody? And Wolf too? Don't be hypocrites, man. That's what you guys are being. You're being hypocrites. You're defending the indefensible, and you're propping Claressa Shields up above other fighters that have done more than she has. What's your thoughts on that, KQKC? And then we'll wrap that around, and we'll wrap it up after that.
Well, you're right, because see, Cecilia Brækhus, I have watched a couple of her fights, and she can fight, and she's not an old woman. Let's not get this twisted, all right? But she have done more than Claressa Shields. Now, Claressa Shields, in due time, she might have her time, but you know how boxing changed, especially for women. But I have to agree with you on that, Fanon, that Cecilia Brækhus is way better than Claressa Shields. We don't know how great Claressa Shields is yet, because we haven't seen her fight everybody that's out there like Cecilia Brækhus has, and she's what, 9-0, 9 fights? I mean, because she's been in the Olympics? No, I'm not going, because I think she got an award the other day, but still, I wouldn't put her in that category. Not right now. Now, I'm not going to say 10 years from now it'll be different, but I will tell you this, Ann Wolf, I think she's better than Claressa Shields in her day, So, but time will tell. History will judge. So, no, you're exactly right. I really appreciate that, because Claressa Shields, sometimes you get the big head before you even accomplish something, and I think that's what she's getting. She haven't really had nothing but 9 fights. Okay, yeah, she did the medal thing, whatever, but that got her the clout. But let's be honest, she's getting better. She is, but she has a long ways to go to catch up with Cecilia Brackes. A long ways to go. So that's how I feel about it.
Kurt.
Well, excuse me. I like Clarissa Shields as a fighter. She improved a lot. She's not the best that I've seen. She's not the GOAT. That belongs to, man, I'm catching a brain freeze today. The female boxer from Holland back in the day.
Lucia Riker.
Thank you for now. Thank you. She's the best that I've seen, technically wise. Power, speed. Former kickboxer. She has a long ways to go, like KQKC said. She's only 9-0, and you could make the argument that she lost to Gabriels. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form bombing Clarissa Shields because I like to see her fight. I didn't like her attitude towards the incident that happened. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But she acted like she didn't care. But everybody wants to be the best ever. GOAT is. Only one man could call himself the greatest and mean it is Muhammad Ali. So when you hear fighters say TBE and GOAT and this and that, nah, and like Blood said, that's the new age boxer fan that will go for something like that. Let's see what happens with her career, and then we can make a better assessment and judge her better. But for right now, she's not the GOAT. She's not that. Ann Wolf was the Tor Beterbiev of women's boxing. Very powerful and strong. I was always a huge fan of Ann Wolf and Basheer Riker. Layla Ali too, but she was a product of, she may have been a little overrated, but she ain't want that smoke with Ann Wolf. But getting back to Clarissa Shields, she's not the GOAT. And Clarissa has gotten really big headed. People that I know that know her saying she used to be approachable. She's not approachable any longer, so maybe she needs to come off her high horse. Good fighter, but let's just wait and see before we give her all these, best of this and greatest of that and best women's fighter of all time. Let's just wait and see.
I would like to point out some, and I'm pointing this out with love, that what you just said, Romero Harris, is bullshit. There is an article that came out April 21st of 2019 on 3kingsboxing.com. Cecilia Braekhus, quote, "I would love to beat Clarissa Shields." Quoting Braekhus, "Clarissa Shields just called me out and it exploded. She had a very impressive win against Christina Hamer, and she is now undefeated. It was a big fight for women's boxing. It moved mountains. But a fight with me would be a whole different level. Clarissa's boxing Saturday, which was really impressive, makes me really want to take on this challenge. It would be a huge fight, and I would love to beat Clarissa Shields. Her display on Saturday was impressive. I want to be in the ring with that. Now, stop making up bullshit. Stop making up bullshit. There's no way you did your research before you said that. Just like I know that you people don't know who Lucia Riker is. That's why we do OG Boxing Talk, man. We watch Cecilia Braekhus fight. I watched Layla Ali fight Jacker Frazier Lyle. That's why we know that these people were overrated. And Layla Ali was overrated. The beast was the people we saw fight Ann Wolf. We know who Lucia Riker is. Lucia Riker was a person that was working with Cecilia Braekhus. They come from the same area. I've been telling people you can look right in the face of Cecilia Braekhus, and I'm like, man, what? We talking about support the black woman? Why don't you want to support Cecilia Braekhus? Main event mark, stop. It's bullshit, main event mark. And I'll say that respectfully to you. I watch Cecilia Breaks. I watch Cecilia. I read the news every day. I go through all of the videos about this particular subject. She is not ducking no fucking Clarissa Shields. Stop it. She's not. It's just not true. You're doing what people did to Deontay Wilder. You're doing when you say things like that, you're doing what these AJ fans were doing to Deontay Wilder, claiming that Cecilia ducked him. And by Cecilia Breakus is a black woman, so how the fuck I sound like it's white Jesus? I'm defending a woman who is 35-0, who holds the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO championship at welterweight, and has defended it for 10 straight fights. Before Clarissa Shields turned pro, she was known as the female Mayweather. She's out in the Netherlands. She's so good that the Netherlands had banned boxing. But because she was so good in killing these chicks like that, they changed the law where she's from to allow her to fight there. Just because you don't know who she is doesn't mean she don't exist. Stop. I'm telling you the truth, and I'm trying my best. I'm still trying my best to represent Cecilia, to represent Clarissa Shields respectfully. But you cannot do that shit to another great fighter. That's the only reason that I go after Eddie Hearn. You can't be an Eddie Hearn and go after Eddie Hearn. You can't do to Cecilia Breakus and act like she's not there. She's there, man. She's real. She's a real fighter. And people saying, oh, she would knock him out. Show me. Show me she knocked out Cecilia Breakus. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for shit. It's a 2-minute round. How's she going to knock out Cecilia Breakus in a 2-minute round? She ain't knocking out Cecilia Breakus. She going to eat a lot of shots from Cecilia Breakus. She'll land some shots on Cecilia Breakus, but go watch Cecilia Breakus. Cecilia Breakus she's a fucking crunk fighter. Do y'all know that? Cecilia Breakus is a crunk fighter. Her trainer is Jonathan Banks, the same dude that was trained by Emmanuel Stewart. She's trained by a Michigan trainer. She a crunk fighter. She ain't knocking out Cecilia Breakus. But just because you don't know who she is doesn't mean doesn't exist. And don't repeat people who did not look it up say that. Cecilia Breakus has never said she will not fight Clarissa Shields. Has never said it. It's not, she wouldn't say it. Whether or not that's the truth, if she ducks, she ducks, and we'll see it then. But come on, man. I know you guys from Memphis. I know you guys are from that. She got you excited about the sport about women's boxing. I know that she got you so excited about her. And that's cool. But come on, man. The whole purpose of OG Boxing Talk, the reason why I come, yes, Cecilia Breakus is small. She's a 147. This is a 160-pounder. That's why Clarissa Shields moved down to 154. And I don't even want to get on that whole conversation of moving down in weight, but that's why she moved down to 154. Cecilia Breakus said that she would fight her at 154. Anyway, please give the woman her respect, man. I like Clarissa Shields. I got no issue with Clarissa Shields in the ring. But she is not the greatest. She has not earned the title greatest woman of all time. And please don't act. Please don't act like Cecilia Breakus doesn't exist, because she does. You just don't know who she is. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun, heated debates, all respectful. I hope. I don't mean to be disrespectful, Main Event Mark, or I forget who the guy is that said that that Cecilia Breakus says she don't want to fight. That's not true. Teddy Romulus said, Fanon, you'll be eating your worlds when Shields beats Breakus. No, I won't. You know when I'll eat my words? When Clarissa Shields unifies her division and defends it 11 times. That's when I'll eat my words. When she defends it 11 times. because that's what she'll have to do to beat what Cecilia Brækhus has already done. She has to get to 35-0 and defend all 4 of those belts 11 times. It doesn't change if she beats Cecilia Brækhus, because Cecilia Brækhus is almost 40 years old. Cecilia Brækhus has been in this game for years, doing this for years. She's been toting the water in the women's boxing game for years. It is what it is, though. Yeah, man, I dominated the conversation. My bad. Hey, grab it up. Hey, let me KQKC. Let them know about that video you want them to watch, and also how to get in contact with you. And
hey, hold on, you gotta give me my chance to talk about Claressa Shields.
Oh, for sure. My bad. Hey, let me back up and get these couple super chats, and I'm gonna go to Blood. Thank you, Blood. I'm sorry, I just went off for so long, man. I felt that I made it a one-sided conversation, man. Boxing Out Conversations with Reggie Owen said, 1, is Teddy Atlas a trainer or motivational speaker? Do you think Teddy Atlas would have stopped the Wojcik fight? And Black Smoke says, salute the mighty OGs and jab the like button. Hey, if you want to answer those questions, go ahead, Blood. Go ahead and knock that question out, man. I mean, what you wanted to say. My bad, Blood.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say, as far as where she's at in her boxing career, man, this is the same thing that we're doing with Lomachenko that, those media members are doing with Lomachenko. All right, they're trying to say that he's the greatest fighter of all times based off a few fights. That's what these people are doing with Claressa Shields. Anybody who says that she's the greatest women's boxer of all times, you have to know a little bit about women's boxing first and how it started and all of that. Some of us saw that shit from the very beginning when we was watching The Coal Miner's Daughter, when there was nobody in women's boxing. The women that The Coal Miner's Daughter was beating up was your average woman you'll see at Walmart behind the cash register or something like that, okay? And I'm going to be real with you. As of right now, just like Lomachenko, it's the same shit, okay? As of right now, I have a girl, Claressa Shields. I have her rated a little bit below Christy Martin right now. I mean, she's moving up to where she could one day be ranked like up there with The Coal Miner's Daughter, but she's nowhere in the neck of the woods of Brækhus and Ali and Ann Wolfe and all of them type of people. She's not even in that kind of conversation right now. Why? Because she won a couple of gold medals in some sport that women don't get involved in anyway. Most women who are athletic are playing other sports like tennis and shit like that. You would have put Serena Williams in some boxing gloves since she was a kid. She would have whooped everyone's ass, okay? They're interested in other sports, track and field, other things like that. All right, so she's just in a sport that's not developed yet, okay? And she's not helping it any with her attitude and the way she be acting and stuff like that. I used to think that she might have a future, but she's going to be hard to promote with her attitude and stuff like that. She thinks she's above. She thinks she's better than what she is, okay? I think that girl, that even though she's smaller and everything, Brækhus, I think she'll beat Claressa Shields. You know what I'm saying? And also, just on the way out too, to all y'all trolls out there who defending Claressa Shields, I saw a few y'all in the comment section. Y'all come on here, Candyman, Candy Slim, 501, FU, Mimi Smith, FU. The Truth said that I sound like a beta male. FU too. I saw a picture of you and you had a female on your cover. Tell that female to come over here and I'll show her what a beta male all about. I didn't disrespect no. I'm just saying, tell the female that's on your thing there to come over here and put her mouth around these nuts. Okay, how we got that? All right. So I'm just letting y'all know. And then you Candyman Slim, you said that don't block people for calling you a cornball, Fanon. Well, shit, you guys are faceless, man. Okay, how the hell can I be a beta male and Fanon be a cornball when y'all are faceless? I went and looked at your account, man. You don't even got your face up there, boy. How the hell you gonna tell me I'm a cornball, I'm a beta male, and all this shit when you don't even got your motherfucking face up, you little bitch, huh? That's what I'm saying, all right? So y'all shut the hell up with that. Stop being cowards, all right? You come over here, I'll show you a beta male, boy, all right? Tell that girl that's on your cover to come over, I got something for her, all right? And you want my address, hit me up behind bloodboxing@gmail.com. My real name is Marlon Jordan, okay? I'm in Ocala, Florida, bitch, right? Come over here and get this heat. You don't want these problems. Shut the fuck up. That's what I got to say.
Hey, man. Blood, you funny. Hey, to the dude said I was a cornball from kicking somebody out, dog. Look, first and foremost, this is my channel. I'll throw you the fuck out if I like what you got to say. Okay? I'm purely capitalistic when it comes to the channel. If I don't like what your name looks like when you spell it, I can throw you out. I do's what the fucks I wants to do's. Second of all, dog, what should I do? Should I go sucker punch him from the back because he called me a cornball? Or should I cuss him out and talk bad about his mama, make tonsil jokes about his mama like I do on a regular basis when people troll me? The reason why I say kick you out because I don't want to get distracted and talk bad about you for long periods of time and distract the chat, okay? So my answer is 3 prongs to you. Number one, I'll kick you out because I can. That's what the fuck it's about. And number two, if I want to cuss you out, I will, but it wastes the time of other people in the chat, okay? And this ain't no democracy, homie. This chat, let me tell you who gets to say about somebody getting kicked out. My executive producer, Blood Boxing. He gets to say, Fanon, stop having everybody get kicked out for saying stupid shit that you don't like. And I'll say, you know, I'm really kind of petty, and I like to see people get the fuck out because I find them being distractions. So I will listen to Blood Boxing because he's an executive producer of the program. You, on the other hand, can kick the bricks, dude. If you can't say something polite, get out of here. I'm not here for you to kick. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna sucker punch you. If you walk up into somebody else's house and you talk shit, call them a name, they show you the fucking door. I'm sorry, sir. Would you like to come in and have a cup of coffee? Yes, I would. How's your day? Well, it was good until you let me in your house, you corny motherfucker. I'll say, oh, I'm a corny motherfucker? Yes, well, get the fuck out of my house. Do you not see the logic behind that? Am I missing something here? If you want to see people in blue, they live here. You see KQKC, Curtis Anderson, Blood on the channel, they live here. This is, we talk every day except for Saturdays about boxing. And if you come in here acting like you don't know whose house it is, we will grab you by the fucking britches and throw your stanky ass out, just like we did your mama when everybody was done with her. Go ahead, Kate. Go ahead, KQKC, man. Give your thoughts, close us out.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I really do. It's really, really, really good show again. And I hope everybody hitting that like button. And I appreciate changing ideas and talking about everything you gave us the outline for. And I appreciate you, Kurt, always. You know, even though we have different opinions about different things, but you still, you know, we are still family, you know, and we still brothers. So I always appreciate that. And let's go for Blood too. You know, Blood, I always give him much respect. And of course, no other than Fanon. I always give him respect for me doing this, period. You know, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here. I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna keep that shit real. So with that, you know, I appreciate it. You can find me right here, Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. And I come on right after my brother, Fanon International Boxing. All right.
Yes, sir. And by the way, check out KQKC's video. As soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna go to KQKC video and look at that note that the parent, that the family wrote. I hadn't had a chance to see that, so I suggest you guys do the same thing. One time, Fanon told some troll bitch to go and kick some glass. Hell yeah, nigga, lay on a bed of glass shards. All I care. I ain't your friend, man. Why are you insulting people? Anyway, Curtis Anderson, man, close us out. Let them know how. Oh, you didn't tell them how to get you, KQ.
Oh, yesterday, I said I come on right after. I come on right after you at 12:30 p.m. Central Time.
You gave me the name of the channel.
Yeah, KQKC Boxing. I'll be on right after this.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Curtis Anderson, man, let them know how to get in contact with you, man. Any last words you got? Also.
Yes, sir. Great show. Like always, it's the norm for us. My name is Curtis Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar. You can find me at Blue Blood Live TV Monday through Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and obviously on Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on OG Boxing Talk for non-boxing. You know, it's been a pleasure, man, and I can't wait, man. Great platform. You know, great for Fanon coming up with this this OG Boxing Talk. I look forward to it every Sunday morning.
All right, let me get a couple super chats that I didn't get at the end, man, just to let you know, man, we really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Said Mahari's Nation Sports Podcast. And please subscribe to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Said there are still people who defend Chris Benoit and he murdered his family using mental ill health as an excuse. Shields' brother knew what he was doing. General Squirrel said that's one hell of an analogy. And for not, thank you, man. It's true, man. I watched the kid get eaten by a dog, get damn near eaten by a dog. It's shit. Put the dog to sleep. That's what you do, because we are a society. Okay, you should be. If we, this ain't the wild. This ain't. All right, man. When people were hunter-gatherers and we lived in sparse, separated areas and we didn't come in contact with one another, right? Then you could just shoot and kill anything you see, all of that. But to live in a society, to live close to one another, you cannot have wild dogs just roaming around the streets, man, doing damage to people because they feel like it's their, like they should be able to do it. You can't do it, man. You can't let that dude get away with that. You can't. Because then what's next? What, somebody else is going to do something worse. You're going to have people, it doesn't matter. So people can bring guns to press conferences and see somebody get, what if he would have shot that guy? What if he would have shot him? That would have been okay if he shot him. Instead of putting his fist through his face, he put a bullet through it under the same circumstances. Just come on, man. Stop defending the indefensible. Trick Note, he said, blood sound like he can body slam a polar bear. He probably can. That's a big ass dude. A lot of things people don't know about these LDBC dudes, man. These cats are some big ass dudes, man. You should see June of the Truth and Black Fight Fan TV. My man Ashy Knuckles, man. Them dudes, I'm standing around. I stood around these three dudes like, damn. That's like the offensive line, man. Gregor Wise said, Fanon, your verified facts fall on deaf ears in this instance. The tendency to ignore factual data is why U.S. Scores 25th in math globally, pretty much. And Will Mundy said, much love in that super chat. Will Mundy said, I love watching these guys come in here and be consistently wrong. No, Fanon, you're the man. Man, on that point, dude, look, I think there might have been another super chat I missed. Let me make sure I didn't miss it, because we really appreciate you. Oh, Bert from Artican said, great show panel. Salute to the LDBC. Look, man, that's what OG Boxing talks about. And what is really missed. Now, see, people say this. People will often talk about the black community, how you don't have fathers in the home, right? You don't have fathers in the home. These people you don't have guidance from older people to tell kids and to help kids develop and become productive and constructive members of society. Boxing is a microcosm of the real world. In order for you to know the games that people run, you have to have seen the games run before. So if when you talk to Curtis Anderson, Curtis Anderson can name to you, or my God, salute to Scrapbook Boxing. It was like 50 deaths in boxing in the year 1950 alone. I didn't know that. I'm sitting there thinking I keep trying to see 2-3 a year, corrected by my OG Scrapbook Boxing, who can come in and tell you exactly how many there were. And if you ever listen to Scrapbook's channel, this dude can walk through damn near the whole. I don't know of anybody that can walk through the history of boxing and has that much documentation. Jesus, documentation's on another level. But that's what that is, man. And so somebody that focuses on boxing all the time, I've seen women boxing. I enjoy women's boxing. I'm a big women's boxing fan. I've been that since before Layla Ali. So if you just now coming in and seeing Clarissa Shields, you're getting introduced to the sport. But it might be harder for you to separate the marketing, right, the facts from the fiction. And if you haven't seen people marketing and doing that before, dude, Clarissa Shields just doing the same thing. She's just basically doing what Floyd Mayweather did. She's using the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. GWOAT is a bastardization of GOAT, which is a bastardization of the TB, right? GWOAT, TBE, greatest of all that shit, man. Just don't run games, man. And come to OG Boxing Talk, because if you running the game, dog, we will point that shit out. Blood Boxing, man, wrap us up, man. Let them know how to get in contact with you. Did you let them know how to get in contact with you, Kurt? Curtis?
Yes.
On Blue Blood Live?
Yes.
Okay,
I told them already.
Kurt, you said something?
Yeah, I told them already. I told them how they can get in touch with me.
Okay, cool. Blood?
Hey, man, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out for another edition of OG Boxing Talk, man. I'd like to thank all the brothers that's on the panels with me, man. Fernand the Don, Kurt Anderson, Sugar, KQKC. Y'all make sure y'all go over to KQKC's live. I think he might be going live today. He's going to be doing a show. So y'all make sure y'all support KQKC on his live shows also. Look at his videos. Make sure you support Kurt Anderson Sugar on Blue Blood Live Sports throughout the week, man. Continue to support Fernand the Don, and make sure that you guys subscribe to Retro Boxing and Documentaries. I have a new Pernell Whitaker documentary up, man. We're going to keep this shit going, man. And once again, man, I'd just like to thank all you brothers, man. Much respect to my big brothers that's on the panel. Y'all make sure y'all support the other LDBC guys too, like I Am Will and all them guys who do live streams. All right. One love.
All right, man. Thank you. We went a little long today, man. Please jump over to KQKC Boxing coming up next. Trill Boxing Talk on Monday morning. Be there for my man Blue Blood. Might come on before that as well. Junior the Truth comes on. A lot of really great BFTB in the afternoon. Bunch of really great shows. Live streams happen every day, Monday through Friday and Sunday. Please be back for OG Boxing Talk. Also go subscribe to KQK. Subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. I just put the link in the description for Scrapbook. And with that, we out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.